To infinity. If you're ready, Andy, I won't just do it for are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
See, we'll cut that as well. But so to infinity
and the moth.
Yeah, to infinity and beyond.
Jesus is canon.
Yeah, right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome for the first time in 2025.
Yeah, for us as well. We're actually in sync for once.
Yeah, I've not seen you in like ages.
I know, right? It's been like a month and a.
Oh,
just cradle him.
Well,
my boy. It's my son.
My baby.
It's my boy.
That's my son. That's my boy.
My son actually does do that though. He runs around the house shouting that
with the beard as well.
Yeah, he grows the beard.
Grows the beard.
No, but he'll literally, since it's been on over Christmas, like he'd run around the house going, "That's my son. That's my boy." Like just for every 5 seconds.
How old is your son now?
Oh, that's a very good question. I believe
what happened to time.
2. He will be 3 in May. That's
chopping hell already. Wow, that's blown by.
I know, exactly. It's aged me, Andy. I feel like it has. But yes, we are here to talk about Doctor Who Christmas special. Yes, it is mid to late January, but
this is January the 1st.
When is it never? Because January is the longest month on the planet.
Yes.
And
especially from a money point of view too, if you know, you know.
Yeah. And there is only one person that we could get to talk about a Stephen Moffat Christmas special. He was a good boy this year. He was on the night list.
Hello, everybody.
Andy Kemp is back once again. It's the Renegade Master.
Whoop, whoop.
We'll obviously just be talking about that, and we'll sort of briefly go into season 2 because you are coming back to do a review for us in season 2, Andy. Yes,
confirmed.
Yes, I would like to. I believe I said I would.
Good.
It's fine. The invite's slightly lost in the mail. We've upgraded our stage, but our mailing system.
That's why I did that group with all of us on Instagram. But it wouldn't let me add Dom for some reason, even though he's.
Oh no!
So I'll have to. He's blocked me. Oh no!
Oh, dear. What has happened to Dom?
I've been banished to the fucking death zone on Gallifrey. But first of all, lads, how was your Christmas?
It was a Christmas that happened.
It was a Christmas that happened.
It was a Christmas that happened, and notable because we all got bloody ill.
Oh,
so
I got
yeah,
that was great. Kids are a fucking.
I was perfectly fine, just for the record.
That's good. So at least one of us was fit and healthy.
No, I just feel like the older I get, I can't remember actually which of us is older, but the older I get, the more Christmas just becomes sort of a.
Sorry, hint for the audience at home: go with the ones with the facial hair. No offense, Andy.
No, I think Andy's older than you.
Wait, are you?
I'm 29 in June, and I just can't. Yeah, I'm 29 in June. I just can't grow facial hair for shit.
Well, I'll just see myself out of the room. Georgie, you can take over director or something. Yeah. I'm fired from set.
But yeah, the older I get, the more Christmas just kind of becomes an obligatory annoyance. I'm finding it's like
obligatory annoyance. That's a great saying. I like that.
That's from my soul as well. I like that.
I normally really love Christmas, but last year, oh god, it feels weird saying last year. The one just gone, I just was like, it's happening, cool.
Yeah.
It's done now. Nice. I can get back to routine.
Yeah, there is a bit of that. I mean, I've not really had a Christmas like that purely because I was one of them kids that probably would still believe in Santa if no one told me he's not real. Sorry, kids. But my parents always went out the way to fucking, you will enjoy Christmas whether you like it or not. So that's kind of always stayed with me for a bit. And now I have a child, so it's like that.
I was about to say you have a son, so you can kind of that magic is still kind of alive for you, I guess, because you have to be with your son being like, oh, Santa's me, look.
Oh yeah, literally. So we did. So this is the first Christmas he's kind of been quite aware of it. He's still to this. As soon as an hour ago, was still singing Jingle Bells. It's the first year he's kind of been aware of it. So doing the carrot and stuff, and leaving that out, and then seeing he's been, and you're like, yeah, he definitely has. You're not gonna fucking come to hate me when I tell you that this is all we've been lying to you for years.
Spoiler.
But it's weird because I don't know how you guys did it because we never had presents from Santa. It was kind of the.
Oh no! Hello? You've gone. You've frozen completely for me. Come back to me.
Oh.
Damn it. Are you back?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yep, the webcam has. I'm too ugly for the internet. So,
That's a lie.
basic. Oh, thank you, darling. So basically, we did like he gets a main present from Santa, like with like they got one each, like because we had our niece here as well. But everything he opened, he just wanted to open then, like completely out of the box, and then that was just 12 hours of my life of like opening boxes and putting batteries in things. So that was great. But other than that, that was really enjoyable. I think this is because we are people that love our films, TV, and such.
Escapism.
This was the best Christmas only from the BBC because ITV had a shit lineup. But in terms of like the last 10, 15 years,
the BBC had a pretty fucking stacked lineup this year.
Oh yeah, one of the best, and it proved in the viewing figures, which we'll kind of get into when we do the actual episode. So, did we watch most things that were on Christmas Day?
I would say so because Phil's parents watched a lot of them.
Yeah. Did you? What was your like? Did you watch like Wallace and Gromit and?
I was literally about to say. I think my favourite was probably Wallace and Gromit.
Yep. Very good.
Was pretty great.
You still not watched it?
I've still not. I feel bad. No, I've not
God.
done Wallace and Gromit. No.
Doctor Who was the warm up for Wallace and Gromit.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was Wallace and Gromit actually on after?
Yeah, I believe this.
Yes, it was on right after.
Yeah, Doctor Who was what 10? Was it 10+5, Andy, for an hour? And then
roughly.
Yeah, and then you had like the first EastEnders episode. You had the Call the Midwife Christmas special, and then you had the Gavin and Stacey finale, and other stuff.
Fun fact about that Gavin and Stacey episode. I have never seen an episode of Gavin and Stacey prior to watching that, and we watched that because Phil's parents watched it. So, like for me, I was like, I feel like I'm going into this without any of the context I should have.
Yeah, I mean, the last episode was like another 5 or 6 Christmases ago, so yeah, in fairness, the last one could have ended it anyway, but yeah, that Gavin and Stacey Christmas special happened, but like similar to you, family was watching it, so I then chose to not be in the Vatican anymore and stop getting my whip out. Exactly. You blame Indy for that one. Indiana Jones, The Great Circle, Xbox Game Pass plug. Go and play it if you haven't already. That was my Christmas day. Gavin and Stacey. Honestly, as far as modern games go, there's barely any game-breaking bugs. The graphics are gorgeous. It honestly feels like the Indiana Jones 4 movie in the 90s that never came out. Although kind of set before Last Crusade, but bottom line is, the game's bloody incredible. A really good experience. Really cool. strong game. And free for Xbox Game Pass users currently until
it's not.
Insert date, exactly, yeah. So if you've got Windows or Xbox, then please download it and you won't be disappointed, hopefully.
I have Game Pass on my Xbox One. I don't have the newer Xbox. I've only got a PS5, but I do have Game Pass, so I wonder if I can play it.
You should do. You have to test out. You could stream it, Andy.
Yeah, good point.
Because are you back into streaming yet, or it's been a while?
Yes, actually, weirdly enough, last week I just started doing it again.
Look at that! It's like it was
meant to be. Yeah.
It's not like it's like I'd like fed that line to you.
There you go. I watched basically from because I always watch Doctor Who when it's on Christmas Day. It's an unwritten rule. I'm sure we all agree that when it's on Christmas Day, we must watch it. So I watched from then until like the end of Gavin and Stacey, and that was that. But obviously, like playing games and stuff in between. But this was, I would say, like Andy, probably Wallace and Gromit was my favourite thing in terms of something new to watch. Gavin and Stacey was good, but it was very like it's a lot there's 17 years to wrap up, and we only have an hour and a half to do it.
Yeah,
but that was still good. The audience just in general, like for all of them, was very good. Let me try, and I think I've got the overnight stuff still here.
Gavin and Stacey reached like a ridiculous amount of views. It was, I think, it aggregated overall. It came to close to 20 million.
Yes, because we've not had the 28-day figure, have we? That's the last one to come. That should be in like a couple of weeks. Yeah, so Gavin and Stacey, 12.3 on the overnight, and then 19.1 on the 7-day.
Nice.
Wallace and Gromit, 9.3 on the overnight, 16.2 on the 7-day. Amazing. Call the Midwife, 4.4 on the night, 7.6 on the week. And Fourth Doctor Who, 4.1 on the night and 5.9 on the 7-day.
Which is pretty good for Doctor Who, to be fair.
Yeah, decent, yeah.
Especially when you give that, like, you know, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Andy, you probably will know more about this than me. Voyage of the Damned is the highest rated episode of Doctor Who in terms of the modern era ever.
As far as I'm aware, yes, it's the most watched.
It was like 12 on the night.
Something like that, yes.
Which was before you started getting into the boom of iPlayer. And when iPlayer, because iPlayer was sort of coming in, I think Series 3, wasn't it? And then
yes, I want to say.
Because I think I watched Last of the Time Lords on iPlayer like a couple of days later. And some old episodes of Tortured when they were on there. But also, like, iPlayer used to just be, it's on there for 7 days, so people were more inclined to watch it straight away. Whereas Doctor Who's normally on there for a year, so you're not gonna rush, are you? And we can say all we want about the landscape of TV is completely different, but it was nice that everyone kind of came together and watched terrestrial television.
Yeah,
it was quite nice.
Old school vibes.
Like, considering like the top two things were the highest viewing figures for like over a decade, which was great. Like, the proof is still that, like, it's still there that the audience will watch. So that was nice. We'll get into Doctor Who then. I know you were excited when it was announced that Moff was writing another Christmas special, Andy. Was there anything in particular looking forward to other than the writer?
I mean, I like I can never say her name. Nicola Coughlan. Is that how you say it? I really like her. So obviously when she was announced as like the companion for the episode, that was really exciting. And just, it sounds really cheesy, but just having more Doctor Who, because I love the show and I was quite disappointed by the end of the series. So I was just kind of looking forward to that maybe not being the case of being like, oh, well, the last episode was bad.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I was just happy for more Doctor Who content as well, in fairness. I'll tell you about my experience watching it when we get into it properly, but I may or may not watched it on Christmas Day because I was too involved in the Vatican and, you know, I was on the run from
hunting Nazis.
The Nazis. No, they were hunting me. They were hunting me. I didn't want to get in trouble. I'm a good boy.
Random question. Do you guys mind if I just make a random image my thing for the stream, because I've been trying to get a picture of Feathers McGraw for the last 10 minutes and it is not working?
That's fine. You can have it as whatever you want.
I was going to say have a random phone call.
Yeah.
Right.
Get done for copyright.
He's going to call Stephen Moffat.
There you go.
Celine
Dijon.
Fabulous. Well,
I tried doing Moffat first and I couldn't. I can't remember what file type you need for it to be able to be used on here, and it just wasn't working for me.
We have them problems all the time.
Every time we try and do it,
it's literally find a JPEG or die.
So I just picked a random image that is saved on this computer. So you have got Celine Dijon. Have fun with that.
Fine by us. So you're excited for Nicola Coughlan, obviously more Doctor Who, which I think we all like. Oh, there's Doctor Who on Christmas Day, and more people are going to watch it because more people tend to give it a go when like the family's round.
They've had a drink or two. They don't go, "Oh God, not Doctor Who again."
And that's the And the thing with Doctor Who at Christmas is it kind of has to try and appeal to a broader audience. More people, especially. Sorry, Karen.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, I was going to agree and also say, like, because of the fact that with it being a Christmas special and there being kind of an implied fact of more people who aren't necessarily as tuned in with the show might be watching, it tends to be a lot more removed from like the wider canon, so it's a lot easier just to kind of put on and watch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's normally like a standalone hour of your time. Normally a bit of fun. It doesn't necessarily link to plot unless it's a Doctor's
Time
last
of the Doctor.
story.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically the most easy accessible point for someone that hasn't watched it really. Like, watch it on Christmas Day, and if you like more of it, it'll be out in the spring or whenever. If it's Peter Capaldi, it'll be out at some point. We hope.
Yeah.
Justice for the 12th Doctor. I will always say it. I like this one. I'll say off the bat before we get into like deep.
I like this one. I like this one.
The only thing I didn't like is, I mean, this image. Like, look,
Yeah,
you've got
it's a gorgeous image.
Yeah, but you've
If you
got
say so.
Shooty Gat wearing a red coat to symbolise Christmas.
Yeah.
But he doesn't wear a red coat. So why don't you just edit him in the normal
False
coat?
advertising.
The show keeps doing that, don't they? Like, they have all that promotional image of him in his main costume, and I think he only ever wore it once.
Yeah.
He wore it in the one with the racist, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what? This is a point I'm going to get into when we finish talking about the episode and just talk about the general era so far. Because I told George I was going to do this. I didn't expect you guys to, but I've done a ranking of the era so far. But you mentioning that about the costumes.
Fair play.
You mentioning that about the costumes kind of ties into a bit of an issue I have with the era currently. So we'll get into that later.
That's fine. That's cool. We're looking forward to that then. Is that before or after the games?
The Hunger Games.
Yes, we're gonna kill you.
One by
Probably
one.
before. I'll end it on the quiz that I've prepared for you. I realised I just kind of dictated that we were gonna do that. Sorry.
First time, which may or may not have been Christmas Day because you were hunting Nazis, apparently.
They were hunting me.
They were hunting you.
Yeah.
What did you think of the world?
No, what do I think? I felt joy. I did feel joy.
Did you? Did you ask her before you felt her?
Whoa. Whoa. No, I did feel joy. I felt warmth. The Christmas magic. I did kind of get soaked up in it a little bit. I did enjoy, like I say, outright. I like the episode, but
you don't love it.
There's that wowness factor missing. And I haven't quite bitten it on the mouth why that's not there. I don't know why. Something's missing and I don't quite know what.
Okay.
I've not had the time. Has anyone like managed to rewatch it at all or have second thoughts as such? Because maybe a second viewing, may alter things slightly or massively. I don't know.
I think I watched it.
No. I had a rewatch a couple of hours ago. And it pretty much kept my opinion the same as it was when it first finished.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Which was, I really like it, but maybe this is just my own personal bias because I'm such a big fan of Moffat's style of writing Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't left disappointed because I did like it. And I remember when it first finished, me and George were kind of saying that we both really liked it. And I still stand by that, but I wouldn't say it's one of Moffat's best.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I were putting it in a tier list of Moffat episodes, it would be on the lower end, even though I still liked it.
Yeah,
that's
it's more of a sort of the Moffat-isms are there, but it's not his
magnum.
It's not getting his full attention, his full thing of brain. But maybe that is down to the fact, Andy, that Russell was writing it, a completely different one, and then just went, I need to finish these season 2 scripts. Can you do a Christmas special? So he kind of just did a sort of.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah, well, apparently so, because I don't
know.
There's an interview. I don't know where, but he has also done a guest.
Your guys' audio keeps cutting out. Just as a heads up, this is the second time it's done it for me in the last 5 minutes.
He has talked about too, and that overall thing of what's going on there. So
you might have to say that again. Your audio cut out for me for a good 30 seconds there.
Hello, can you hear me, darling?
I can hear you now. Yes, my dear.
Yes, Fandango. So Russell was writing it, and then it was a case of I don't have time. I need to finish my season 2 scripts. Stephen, would you jump in? And not just jump in and carry on the script. It was just he had to just make up his own Christmas special, because I don't think Russell had written like a first draft maybe, and then it was like, I'm going to save myself time, Stephen. Are you free to do it? And it kind of feels like he's taken sort of elements he knows works and just like put them into the most basic. It sounds mean.
Basic blender.
It sounds mean, but in terms of the most basic story he can, which is why some of it seems a bit sort of underwhelming in places. But I think we can agree, Moffat knows how to write the Doctor's dialogue.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
There's just it was the same in Boom, just like
boom,
like suddenly, because I think this bit I'm about to say was on the Doctor Who podcast. Like suddenly he was just sort of inhabited with the character. Like he didn't know if he would be able to sort of like feel that version of the character, because like when he writes Matt, like he would be able to write dialogue Matt would say, and the same with Peter. And then suddenly he's like, and honey, I know how good I look, like line in Boom. He's like, that just like the Doctor just came to me and told me that. And then like it was easy to get a handle back on this version of the Doctor. Like he gets the fundamentals that make the overall character that everyone has, but the little personality quirks and the way to play to it, I think he can get the best out of Shooty. And certainly from what I've seen, more of my favorite moments are from him than from Russell.
No, okay.
I just honestly don't think anyone writes Moffat like the Doctor. No one writes the Doctor like fuck it, words.
No one writes Moffat like Stephen Moffat.
No one can write the Doctor like Moffat can. Even in his weaker episodes, he is just, in my opinion, the best at writing the Doctor as a character.
Yes.
And I think that can go a long way to carry some of the weaker scripts of, that he has been responsible for, of which I don't think there are necessarily many, but there are some out there.
Yep. I totally agree with you. But you're...
Yeah, outright, Shooty's performance, again, like we'll break individual bits down, but again, Shooty's performance in this was absolutely fabulous and always will be. And just, absolute fashionista, regardless if it's a Photoshop thumbnail of attire and whatnot. But like I'll say, you can hit us with that later, Andy. But no, the Doctor's performance in this era has always been bloody great. And under Moffat, like you two sort of mentioned, Moffat can sort of tap into a sense that no other writer can, and sort of copying what you're both saying. But again, Moffat has a unique voice, and Shooty's voice does blend in with Moffat's unique vision, although like we all keep saying, this isn't a particularly high, if we were tier listing the episode, it isn't a particularly highly favourable Moffat script per se, but again, not outright we didn't like it. It's just that with me, quickly, it just felt like every positive I had, I just, like you, I want to keep saying but. If it was other Moffats, there wouldn't be a but, it would just be like this and this and this. But then with this one, I'm like, I did like this. I didn't mind, like, the monster element or whatever, like, the plot element. But it was always but. And that's how I didn't, I don't quite know how I felt about the overall feature, per se. But there are definite bits that stuck out to me. But again, I would have liked to have rewatched it in preparation for this anyway, just so I can have more of a context to what I may or may not say as we go on. But, yeah, it was good, but
that's
I
think Shooty is kind of doing. I think I said this to Mike because I managed to guest on his one talking about this. That I think he's doing sort of like what Matt Smith and Jodie have had to do in terms of their elevating crap material that's given to them. Not just like they're knocking out the park with the good stuff, but also they're having to try and they're trying to have to sift through the shit to find the jewels in it and like try and
to find
get something onto it.
Yeah,
and he's really good at it, and he's very good. Like he's well on my way to probably being one of my favorite incarnations of the Doctor. I just want one more of him because there's not enough episodes we get of him. Like we had 2 episodes last season where he wasn't really in it,
Yeah.
And I just want him to be given more depth. Like, I know he should be like happy because he said that David's doing all the therapy, so he's free to be just, joyous and like I'm fine because you've done therapy line from the giggle or whatever it was. But he's also now back to being like, fuck it, this is why you're always on your own, you loser, to himself. And
yeah,
I get that. I like that he's more heart on sleeve and emotional. I just want him to sort of have to deal with some heavier moments because, like, that was nice. The whole thing of like when he had to spend a year on Earth and then what he said to them, but also then he kind of just ignores the fact that Anita was there. Like, he doesn't even go back for her and stuff like that.
Which is really annoying because she was probably my favorite part of the episode.
Yeah, I kind of agree. Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoyed Anita as a character and the sort of dynamic that he built with her, which was a bit of a shame because obviously as the main guest star, I wanted to attach to Joy more. But by the time it got to the Doctor leaving Anita to go and, continue the adventure with Joy, I was like, no, come back to Anita. We like Anita.
Exactly. Yeah, we like Anita. Make this season 19 again. We can have more than one central character companion, please. Yeah, no, Anita was I guess I want to say heart and soul of the episode, but really it should have been Nicola. It should have been Nicola.
It should have been Nicola, and she definitely had her moments. But by the time the episode ended, all I could think was, I want Anita back.
Yeah, brush straight up. I want Anita. No, maybe we, the Who community, should petition to get Anita back. We should petition.
We definitely aren't the only ones who had that opinion either, because I was looking at Twitter after the episode was done, and I refused to call it X. It's still Twitter to me. If Elon Musk can dead name his child, I can dead name his website. But like, yeah, I think a lot of the community seems to agree with our opinion that Anita was the highlight.
Yeah. Hashtag justice for Anita. If we can bring her back for at least 2026 Christmas special, that'd be amazing.
Well,
or 25's Christmas
big
special.
Finish finding out that the Doctor spent a year on Earth.
There we go. Exactly. The Doctor and Anita set.
Yeah.
Stranded 2.0.
Time Hotel Series 9.
Exactly. Yeah. There we go. Sold. No.
But yeah, I think it's because I like Nicola Coughlan and she felt like an afterthought, really. Because I think I've not watched the Unleashed episode. I know it's criminal. I've fucking still not caught up on it.
That's disgusting, Jordan.
But it seems like Anita was only meant to have like a bit part in this episode, like a couple of lines. But the actor who played Anita, this was her first thing she did.
Well, that's even more impressive then.
Like, she was amazing.
Wow. Yeah.
And like to be like that on one like your first like big gig, like ever.
Straight
up amazing.
Big gig. Yeah.
But also it seems like they were so impressed with her that they gave her more and more, and then it's like, oh, we've accidentally written her into this script a lot, and then we've got to just leave her behind and like not even go back. I know he gets her a job at the Time Hotel, but other than that, like you think like what's stopping him? Because the whole thing is you need to go. It's a bit of I know what people have complained that it's a retread of the past RTD era in terms of you need to go find a friend because you just for some reason you're not speaking to the blonde one whose name starts with an R, who's named after Red. So now you need to go and find one that works in a hospital.
Oh my god, I hadn't even thought of that. Yeah, both of them. Oh my god, Russell, what the fuck are you doing?
And then he's gonna go and hang out with someone who works in a hospital. That's that's season
a woman of colour who works in a hospital as well.
Yeah,
Doctor Who deconstructed by us.
But yeah, like
I don't necessarily think it's intentional, but it is a fucking weird coincidence.
It's a bit lazy, isn't it?
A white, blonde-haired young girl who I think they were both canonically 19 as well.
Yep.
Whose names both start with R and are both a shade of red, kind of. And now he's leaving them to go and travel with a woman of colour who works in a hospital.
Yes, and he's had a Christmas special between where he's told that he needs a friend because we're doing that again.
Oh wow! I'm seeing more and more parallels now. That's quite interesting.
Like how Series 12 was a lot of Series 3 as well, because you had the Master, you had Captain Jack, and stuff like that. That was just elements, where this is straight up like similarly structured. which by all accounts would mean that. Well, I would say Joy, but obviously she blew up into a magic star. But the companion of this episode, so we'll say Anita, that means she would come back for to be the third companion after the second companion leaves him. Like she'll come back and just want to be a mate.
Yeah.
And then
Two mates.
And then that means Anita and the Shooty Gatwa Doctor will appear as another version of the Shooty Gatwa Doctor in the 70th anniversary specials.
We're quickly entering the RTD universe here, like RTD cinematic universe.
Yeah, just try not to think about it too much, and that goes for you at home. But
wow.
What were your overall thoughts on the episode, George?
I like when I first watched it. Like I think my opinion slightly changed because I rewatched it just before doing it with Mike's, and I've rewatched it again since. Like it's slightly bogged down by the fact of it's a bit sort of empty, like it's a sandwich with no filling. But I had more fun with this than I did with Church on Ruby Road, and I don't know if that's the same with either of you two. But I liked how this was.
I like both of them for different reasons. I think so it's kind of hard to compare for me. Because what I will say is quite interesting in that comparison is that I would say that you could very clearly tell that Church on Ruby Road is a Russell script and this is a Moffat script, just from the way that the story's structured.
No, but then to answer the point of fun, like off the top of the head, I'd say retaliate and go Church on Ruby Sunday, Church of Ruby Road, Church of Christmas 2023. That was a more fun episode than what I watched, in my opinion.
I like this one because it was more detached, whereas like that had, it was the start of this era.
Off of an era. It had more things tying it down and more to do.
And the start of the season arc, which fundamentally was a letdown.
Yeah,
in terms of, so that is probably like me judging it more off of what came next. Whereas whereas this has like nothing. None of this is going to matter in the next season. This like no characters that were in this.
Unless Anita is an anagram of something else and it's the Rani.
Anita's a
exactly, yeah.
But like the whole thing of he needs a mate. So he doesn't go back and pick up the person he spent a year with. He was like, no. I'm just going to... You there, that works in this hospital that I've just appeared in season 2, episode 1. You're my friend now.
But, are they going to fight a blood-sucking creature in the first episode, though? Because if they do, then I'm calling it. Russell is literally just retraining his old era.
But less well. Like, he's got more money.
Exactly.
There's less episodes.
Yeah.
But then season 1, there wasn't any. I think Space Babies fundamentally
was the weakest.
Was the weakest, but it felt a little bit like End of the World or those type of episodes where it's the first story where the companion goes into the far future out in space because there's
the beyond.
Because as him and Moffat have said before, that's how you you do the broad strokes of this is the format. So you have one in present day, and then you have one in either like the distant past,
and then you have one in the
future.
past.
And then you have the other one be the other way around. And then you go from
that is an interesting thing right, I'm going to go through this in my head now.
Go on, then.
What order did every companion do things in Modern Who? Rose did present, future, past. Martha did present,
past,
future.
Yeah.
Donna did present, past, future.
Yep.
Yes.
Amy did present, future past. Clara did present, future, past.
Well, which version of Clara are you going with?
Oh, yeah.
The one that actually travelled with.
Fair enough. Well, because technically she existed first in the future, then the distant past, and then we saw her in the present.
But in terms of actually fully incorporating her as the full companion, it was Bells of St. John, which was present, then Rings of Action, which was future, and then Cold War.
Yep.
Who was next? Bill. Oh my god, we don't have anyone till Bill then. Bill was present, future, past.
Yep.
Ryan, the gang, the fam, were present, future, past.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
Rosa.
Definitely the past. Yeah.
Dan's an odd one though because Dan was only in like a mini series essentially. But what was he? He was. He was present, past,
technically
future.
Past, wasn't it?
Yeah, present, past, future for Dan, and then Ruby was present, future, past. Yeah, so it usually seems to be present, future, past is the general
order. Yeah.
Order.
to give the
Sorry,
audience the
that was a
extremes.
random. That was my ADHD brain kicking in there. You gave me that idea, and I just kind of ran with it. Like, oh, this is the sequence.
Yeah, that's fine, and I like those, like the fact that you have to sort of like give us, the audience, if you're new to it, like here's the extremes of what this show is. It's either the distant past and its history, and we possibly meet a historical figure for some reason in the modern era. We always have to meet one of them or name drop them.
It's almost always we'll do an episode in a setting that you know. Then we'll do something in the far future. Sorry, pardon me. Something in the far future where technology is very advanced. Then it's back to the past where we may meet a historical figure, and then it's most of the time we're now going to be in modern London. Have fun.
Yeah. Well, like 99% of series 1 is in or around Earth.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, is there any episode that isn't on Earth in series 1? Because the
There's stuff on
satellite
Earth,
5, well, that's around Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's all. I think all of series 1 is basically Earth.
Yeah.
It's basically. I think because I don't remember if it was on the original Confidentials where Russell talks about sort of like, because obviously it's a soft core reboot. Like he's got rid of the Time Lords at that point before they'd come back and been blown up again, and it was like the bare bones of the show. So like it was kind of like a Pertwee season in terms of like he's sort of like you've got the gist of it, but it's
almost
sort of
Earthbound.
Yeah, it's basically all Earthbound but they have other adventures that are off Earth, like the books and stuff like that, and Big Finish stuff since has been
That's also Pertwee season 9 because that was that was half Earth stories, and also he had stories where he was elsewhere and stuff. Yeah,
a lot of there's many of the books that were
Pertwee.
sort of like on like this like Slitheen Homeworld or like the games like places and Justicia and things that get name dropped in Boomtown. But because what you've got Earth London, future satellite platform 1 around Earth,
Victorian London,
Victorian Cardiff.
Modern London. Oh, sorry, Victorian Cardiff, modern London. Then
London. Sort of
slightly future America.
Slightly future now, the past America.
Yeah,
but they're still just as backwards as they always will be. You had what was after Dalek?
Long game.
Satellite 5 around Earth in the sort of future.
Yeah,
Father's Day. So
Father's Day, amazing.
Yeah.
Slightly past London.
You got the Blitz.
Yeah. Boomtown, modern Cardiff. And then Satellite 5.
Above Earth, yeah. And then the Christmas special is on Earth as well.
London, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not until New Earth that we go somewhere
beyond
that is sort of still.
And even then, it's called fucking Earth. It's just a different Earth.
There you go.
But it's new, guys, so technically we're off of Earth now.
But what you can't argue with this is in terms of the Time Hotel. If we come back round,
yes.
It's a nice idea that there is a hotel you can, because obviously in the future, if you had time travel, you would capitalize on it and make money out of it if you were that kind of company. So you can stay anywhere in history. That's why there was no room at the inn, because of course a lot of people would then go and see the birth of Christ, which is weird because we've got dinosaurs, so we're confirming that scientific theory is correct, whilst there is also a Bethlehem. You do with that what you will, because Stephen Moffat only adapts big characters, i.e. Sherlock Holmes, Dracula, and now Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, can you imagine the dark fantasy Jesus series that he's now working on?
Yeah, well, they'd have to be an underground like agency task force like military thing, like they're
that's who Herod works for.
Oh my god, does Herod give him an iPad? Just like when Dracula gets an iPad, and then that's how he gets himself out of being in prison.
On the subject of the Time Hotel, that was possibly one of my favorite things about the episode is the setting. I don't know how you guys felt, but I loved the idea of the Time Hotel, partially because it's similar to an idea I had for an episode of a sci-fi show. But aside from that, I think this episode, the setting of the Time Hotel allows for Moffat to have probably what I would say is the most easily audience accessible version of his love of jumping about time.
Yes,
because like normally,
normally,
obviously, a lot of the time jumping is done because the Doctor travels to this point, and it's like, well, why is he here? Well, you'll find out later in the episode, or why are they here? Blah blah blah. But because of the way the time hotel works, we can linearly see why the Doctor is in these different time zones, and it kind of allows Moffat to do his normal MO, but with a setting that is a lot easier for sort of casual viewers to follow.
Yeah.
Like
which
a
I think
beginner's
is really
guide to
quite
Doctor Who,
smart.
isn't it?
Yeah. And
I
I like
hadn't thought about it
how
that way.
I like how that's used at the end as well as a plot device, with the way that he gets the rope from the Arctic and attaches it to the train in that other room, and then attaches it to the pillar in the Aztec place, and like the way that all does actually link together, I thought was actually quite well done.
Yeah, apart from some weird editing where it gets onto the train one, and then it just pans up, and then he's already on top of the train.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it is basic. It's bare bones Moffat 101 essentially. It's all the stuff, because when he does it well, he does it really well. But other things it's missing something.
Yeah,
But I Moffat is responsible for my favorite Doctor, so like I'm not going to begrudge him most things, especially when last minute he's been asked to come up with a Christmas special. It's not the worst Christmas special out of all of them. I'd certainly, like I said, I enjoyed it more than.
It's not Last Christmas.
It's not Last Christmas. I'd say it would be it would be above like Last Christmas, Dr. Widow and the Wardrobe, the Next Doctor,
Feast of Stephen.
Well, Feast of Stephen doesn't really fucking count, does it?
I can tell you where I've ranked it. It's in the middle of the pack for me. So because I did a list of Christmas special ranking as well. I've not put New Year's Day specials in this, but I probably chuck them in there if you want me to. Where would they go actually? Actually, I was gonna say I don't know where the sort of Dalek New Year's trilogy would go, but actually I think all three of those episodes are three of Chibnall's better ones. So
yeah,
and they're some of the better Dalek
stories.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So I have out of the 14 Christmas specials, to my knowledge, I believe there's 14. I have Joy to the World 9th, which is pretty fairly middle of the pack.
Mm-hmm.
I have it above Doctor the Widow and the Wardrobe, The Next Doctor, The End of Time, Shoot Me, I don't like that episode, Return of Doctor Mysterio, and Time of the Doctor, the ones I have below it. I don't know whether it's just your audio's cut out or if
because my favourites are like Voyage, Christmas Carol.
Oh, guys, your audio's gone again. I can't hear you. Hello? Hello? Oh, no. Can I let them hear? I can't remember.
Papa, can you hear me?
Yeah, your audio completely cut out for me for like the last minute.
Oh dear. Can you hear us?
I can hear you now. The last thing, I was telling you what I had below Joy to the World, and I didn't hear anything from you after that.
Yeah, we heard you, but then for some reason, I just the Wi-Fi's playing up again, so it hates us. Yeah, because it's not my least favorite. It's certainly sort of more middle of the pack. But yeah, like I did enjoy it more than the last one. The story's good, but I think Nicola Coughlan's not in it enough. I don't think. Yeah, but I think that's criminal because I think, the one thing that I've said before on it is like the moment she has where the Doctor's trying to manipulate her to get the briefcase off her, where she has that moment about her mum, really sort of grounds her and humanizes her, essentially because Moffat doesn't miss a beat to say "fuck the Tories" on primetime BBC One at Christmas.
That was pretty much my favourite moment of her character in the episode, was that moment where she broke down about the lockdown and how real that kind of felt.
Yeah, because a lot of people have been through that in various capacities. So that was bravo for that. But then they didn't really sort of capitalize on her character because you had a really human moment to relate to her. And then she was still she wasn't in the episode enough for us to be well, sad yet happy in terms of the ending she gets with her mum, you know, when the episode ends. Like, the doctor's crying over her, but he's known her for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is a shame, because Nicola Coughlan is an amazing actor. Like, the stuff I've seen of her and what I've seen her in, like, people have been raving about her since she was first cast in the new Christmas special.
Yeah, I would agree. It's quite. I don't want to say disappointing, because I liked what we did get of her, and that moment especially really did stick with me. But like, overall, I do think she was pretty underutilized, which is a shame considering she was the big grab of the episode, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. What do we think about Jesus?
Canon.
Generally, or in the episode?
In the episode, because how did we? Because my main thing, Andy, I don't know if you sort of feared this, was that the doctor would somehow end up at the inn, and like I've got to stay here so that they go to the barn because there's no room at the inn. Like the weird Rosa Parks moment, like I've got to stay on the bus so she can get racially abused. Like, yeah, I thought that was going to be it. So like the ending itself wasn't too out there, but still a bit like, oh, we're canonizing this, are we?
Yeah.
I never expected it to go there, so that wasn't a worry for me. But what I will say is that I absolutely called that she was going to become the star of Bethlehem. I called it. I can't remember when it was, but I remember at one point leaning over to Phil and saying, "She's going to become the Christmas star." When was it? I think it was when they were going into the Aztec temple. I leaned over to Phil and I said, "I bet you she's going to become the Christmas star at the end of this." And then I was right, and I felt quite vindicated because I was like, "Oh, validated." Sorry.
That's a bold call. Like I didn't sort of see it coming, but like then when it happened, and then I like that it's the star that gives us hope. So like, you know, the people in the Blitz, that's the only reason they were really in the story, was so they could look at the star at the end.
Look at the night sky.
Oh, I was sad, but there is hope.
I knew hope.
I like that that also came back. It made the title also very literal as well.
Yeah.
She did bring joy to the world.
Well,
which does have a nice
which also has a Christmas meaning anyway. So like the title itself, quite well done, Moffat. Well done.
11 out of 10 for title. Yeah, because it was quite literal.
That's the thing. Some things he nailed, and other things he just
didn't
give his whole brain to.
Yeah. Left some to be desired. Yeah, in places.
One of my biggest criticisms of the episode is it wasn't necessarily the inclusion of Valengard, because I like that it ties into Boom of this era, and it just kind of made me feel like if he does write another episode for this era, can he also be a Valengard focused one, so he can kind of add his own little trilogy?
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't feel like there was that much threat. And I understand it's a Christmas special, but like, by the end of the episode, the Star Seed just kind of decided it was going to be benevolent.
Yeah. Like, well, yeah, why? Why is the star now evil? But then, is he just mentioning Villengard because he always writes it as if, I don't know if I'm actually coming back for another one, so I better bring it full circle to my first on-screen Doctor Who one. So he mentioned it in Time of the Doctor, Boom, this. It's a bit sort of like not Time of the Doctor, bloody Twice Upon a Time. Like in terms of like how Twice Upon a Time goes, oh, I don't know what to do when there's not a villain. Whereas it sort of does that, but then it's like the star goes, well, fuck you then, I'm going to blow you up and
I'm evil.
Yeah, evil.
I'll burn you with my brightness.
Turn the brightness up on your. I like the inclusion of like the Silurians and things like that. Like the guy who plays bloody thingy in Sherlock. What's his name? Oh,
Watson.
No,
I'm joking.
No, oh, trying to remember now.
What's his name in Sherlock, because he's the Silurian manager. Sherlock.
Oh, I can't remember now.
Just fucking so you can get there first.
Was it Inspector Lestrade?
No, it's Anderson.
Oh, okay.
It is,
No,
I
I
can
can
see
see
him in
that.
Valyria makeup. Yes,
Jonathan Harris.
yes. Who
Yes.
does he remind me of though? He reminds me of someone else.
Looks a bit like Gary Oldman.
Yeah, my mind did go there, but yeah.
Like it was good having them in it, considering the war between the land and the sea and the worst title in spin-off history. It's going to focus on like them and the Sea Devils and all that jazz. So it's like, oh, the Silurians are still a thing, guys,
and
like,
important.
we've not had them for a while.
They're going to be important. Yeah.
That is one thing that I think is a slight criticism I have of just the modern era as a whole. It's the way that they've kind of, and to be fair, Chibnall did kind of fix this with Flux, but I think the modern era has made the Sontarans and the Silurians a bit too. The Silurians, especially, I think it's made them a bit too sort of almost. I don't know if pedestrian is the word, but like they don't really feel like a threat when they're on screen now because we've had Vastra and we've had. I mean, to be even in their first story, like the first Silurian story of Modern Who, we had good Silurians in there. So, like, I don't know, they never really feel like a threat or a villain anymore. So whenever they do appear, it almost always seems to be in like a comedic or like a background role in a way, I guess.
Yeah, that is fair. Like, especially with Strax, like for the Sontarans, but then to sort of like try and have, Chibnall had to then try and make them a bit more threatening, which they did by then killing off the face of the old Sontarans in the character that Dan Starkey plays in War of the Sontarans. Yeah. I'd like a good Sontaran story because we've not had a good Sea Devil story in a fucking hot decade at least.
I think War of the Sontarans was good.
Yeah, War was good. I'd like Silurians as well as a sort of because I like Hungry Earth, Cold Blood, but there is that. It is that thing of like it's a bit like the Skrulls, really. Like in Captain Marvel, you've got good ones and bad ones, like with anyone. So it's like the first time we've seen them, and they're not the flat out villain. Whereas like people that would have watched that and had seen, the Silurian episodes of the classic era would have been a bit like, no, but they're not sort of meant to be as good or helpful.
Yeah, how dare
like they? You should have maybe had a story where they were just flat out evil, and then like down the line, oh no, we can amend the planet. Yeah,
we can amend. And
I don't think it helps that they made them look distinctly more human in the modern era. Because in classic Who, they looked way more alien than I think they do now.
Yeah, which especially when you look at the Sea Devils, like they're still basically the same face as the classic ones, just they've CGI'd up the features on the face.
Yeah.
So maybe hopefully Jonathan Harris can come back because Neve McIntosh played more than one Silurian, so maybe he can.
He could become the human Silurian face to bring them back to their old lizardly, scaly paths. Roots, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, the Silurians are just a nice inclusion for fans of the show. It's not meant to be like a big thing of like,
Oh yeah, I don't have an issue with the way they were included. Like the manager was included. It was nice to see a familiar alien.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But if anything, it's done because of Joy to the Land and Sea, Earth, Land.
Joy to the Land and Sea.
Joy to the Land and Sea, whatever the spin-off's called.
It does strike me that we have not seen the Daleks on screen for what feels like ages at this point.
It's nice, isn't it?
We're going to get the Paradigm Daleks.
Oh, I'd love
That's
that.
why.
If Russell had the balls to just bring back the Paradigm ones.
Colourful Daleks, yeah.
The Power Ranger Daleks.
Power Ranger Daleks.
But, we made the Daleks bigger, but where they don't look bigger? On the TV screen, they look the same size. But,
yeah.
No, it's a solid... I can't give this episode more than like a 3.5 out of 5. Like if I was doing stars, like it's not. So I would angle more towards a 3. Like it's not strong enough for a 4,
no,
but it's not.
No.
I'd say a 3 makes it sound weak, but it's about a 3.5 for me.
I'd give it a very solid 7 or 7.5. It's not great, but it is good and it's enjoyable.
Wait, 7.5 out of 5, Andy? You're breaking the scale.
10. Sorry, 10. 10.
I'm joking. I got you, man. Yeah, at the minute I'm going with the 10 system, not because of any reason, but I'm one-time viewing, despite other crap going on amongst this month and since not seeing George's non-camera glorious face.
Oh,
At the minute, I'm a firm like 6, maybe 6.5.
yeah, that's
At
about right.
the minute.
Yeah,
But then
that's
give
fair.
me other viewings, maybe I'll have proper opinions and time to fully palate and digest what I witnessed.
Yeah.
Like not on Christmas Day, spoiler alert. I need to go back and actually dedicate to it. Bottom line is, it was better than Empire and Death, and that was made my Christmas special. So
Yeah, that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Doctor Who Christmas specials are either pantomime or they're like sort of important, like, you know,
messages.
important to the world stories. Whereas
Yeah.
this didn't feel pantomime enough. Like, it was like elements of that, but it's also like, oh, we've got to, you know, stop the weird Jesus star.
Yeah.
There was like.
Sorry,
I
Andy.
think there was a bit of a tonal whiplash, I guess, in a way, because it did feel like the episode wanted to be quite whimsical and silly, but then we had like the Year on Earth with Anita that was just really sweet and quite grounding, and then we were back to the whimsical silliness, and then suddenly she's having a breakdown about the Tories in lockdown, which, valid point, but in terms of the actual episode structure, it did provide a bit of a tonal whiplash, I think, especially because right after that breakdown, suddenly we're being attacked by a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Which somehow lives worse than the one in Deep Breath.
Yeah, I kind of wish that they'd given that moment more time to breathe.
Yeah,
in a way, because that was such an impactful moment, and it was the moment of the episode that definitely stuck with me the most. Was her sort of fury at
losing her mum.
lockdown and the way,
yeah, so relatable. But then, like you say, they don't let it breathe. But also, then there's nothing else from it. Like, I'd like to have seen a version of this where, like, Moffat maybe had another rewrite, or where he knew that he was writing this before, like, the week they were shooting it, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it was kind of like, had he focused on Joy more, maybe Joy had been the one that he spent that time on Earth with and got, you know, stuck with, and then they had to then go through and then complete the bootstrap paradox thing. Because that was, I like that in terms of the, you know, essentially the code came from nowhere, because he'd done it before, but then he was like, oh, like, essentially the code came from nowhere, but the universe came from nowhere, and no one moans about that. And it's like, what? What are you saying?
There was like a fourth wall break kind of thing there as well, wasn't there, in a way?
Oh, look, a television model comes out of nowhere. No one complains about that, don't they?
It was, I think, some of his best and worst elements. Had he had more time, or, you know, I don't know how long he knew about it, like how long Russell was into it before saying, Steve, can you help me out here, mate? But it's certainly, like, it's mid to slightly lower, but it's definitely not the worst.
Absolutely not.
Christmas special.
Far from the worst.
And it still did, you know, good numbers, and hopefully it's a nice sort of, you know, palate cleanser for everyone that didn't like Empire of Death. And hopefully it gets us back in a place where we're ready to talk about season 2 again, whenever that ends up rolling around. But and
excited for
it. A simple plot that's some elements of it were done well. Some elements I think should have been given a bit more like time
room to breathe.
Yeah, room to breathe, like you said, Andy. But overall, Moffat does what Moffat does. He gets Doctor Who, and that's, I think, you know, the joy of watching an episode of his is you don't know which version of Doctor Who you're going to get, but you know that you're going to enjoy at least half of it anyway, because he's going to have some fun and some silliness and some nice deep moments.
And I suppose that's his way of bringing joy to our world.
Yeah.
Moffat's way of
the joy to the world with the friends we made along the way.
Oh.
But
and the pumpkin lattes and the cheese toasties.
Yes,
the pumpkin latte.
Made me really want a ham and cheese toasty.
That was a little bit of a having worked at Costa before. That was a little bit of a sort of a Vietnam War flashback when Doctor was going around doing pumpkin spice latte and a ham and cheese toasty, and I was like, no, not again! Ah!
You're just clinging to Phil, like, don't let him take me.
Yeah, pretty much.
I don't want to go back.
The other thing it was missing was an apron, and I've been like, ah!
Yeah.
But no, it was an enjoyable, if underwhelming, brackets for Moffat episode.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That is one of the reasons why I'm really hoping. I don't know if he's writing one for series 2. I don't think he is. and I'm not going to get my hopes up. But if
he does, you will be reviewing it.
Yes, I really hope he does write at least one more for this era, just because I don't want the last episode Moffat ever writes for Doctor Who to be
Jesus
this.
is real.
Yeah, in the nicest way possible.
No pun intended, but we need another boom after this episode.
Because Boom was so good, and I was
Boom
like, after Boom, I was
and
like,
it still is booming in 2025. I want to go back and watch Boom. I want Boom
it's
every
so
week.
good. And I remember when that finished, I was like, oh my god, Moffat is back. Doctor Who is saved.
Yeah,
this was amazing.
Yeah. Before we do your era so far ranking, Andy, what do we think about when it came full circle and we actually got to see Joy and her mum and that sort of like nice tender moment that we'd heard about previously that sort of broke her and was her main sort of character part in this episode?
I think it was sweet. I didn't like the fact that on Twitter everyone was going on about like, oh, so she ended up killing her mother, and it's like, I'm pretty sure her mother was already dead.
Yeah, and she basically rejoined with her daughter, and then they can live. It's the Moffat thing of no one actually really dies, because I don't know if you've seen Chris Johnson's video on the Five Who Fans channel. It was a good few years ago, where he talks about Stephen Moffat's greatest fear, which is people dying, because Rory always dies, always comes back. You get that everybody lives just this once.
Yeah,
like you get all
lives.
He gets to a point where he's scared of
a bit more than once, wasn't it, Stephen? A bit more than once.
No, that is. I think it was a nice moment.
Yeah, because if you think about every single character in Moffat's era, no one, even though we literally witnessed Clara die on screen and Bill, both of them in some way get to live. I know it is canon that Clara has to go back to the Trap Street, so she is technically dead, but we never see it, and we're not told how long exactly she can run for. And obviously with Bill, she got turned into a puddle lady so that she could be with her lesbian puddle lover, which was very sweet.
Lesbian puddle people adventures would have been a better title than The War Between the Land and the Sea. Jesus. Big Finish. You can have that one on me. Lesbian
Big
Puddle
Finish.
Lovers Season 3.
I would like to commission Lesbian Puddle Lovers.
Oh wow! Maybe that could be the Christmas special. If Joy to the World, Joy to the Land and the Sea gets enough views, that could be the Christmas.
Sorry, can you imagine the outrage in like the more conservative communities if one Doctor Who Christmas special features Jesus is real and then the next one is lesbian puddles?
But then we get Pearl Mackie back, so it's all good.
That's positive.
That is true. We can always do with more Pearl Mackie. We did not get enough time with Bill.
No, we didn't.
No,
I love
absolutely
Bill so
not.
I think also, like, to complete the tradition, the third Christmas special, Lesbian Puddle Lovers, would have to be written by Chris Chibnall.
Yeah, why not? Why not at this point? Why not?
One of us. So, Andy, your ranking for RTD2 so far. Where does this one come in that? And then we'll try and give ourselves a quick thought on it, and then we'll do your lovely quiz.
Yes. I'll go get if you want after I've done mine, to give you time to think. I'm going to go make another drink. Okay, so in terms of the ranking of the era so far, I believe we've had 13 episodes. I think that's correct. The 3 specials, 3 60ths, 2 Christmas specials, 8 main series. Yeah, so 13. At the very bottom is Space Babies.
Yep.
Shock horror. How dare you? I should be one person online with my Twitter keyboard defending Space Babies.
Next is Star Beast.
Yeah, it's the weakest of the trilogy for me.
I was very, very underwhelmed by the Star Beast.
Yeah, in terms of the hype and then sort of what happens, while Blue Yonder is the best of those specials anyway, so
yeah.
Oh, don't worry, we'll get to Wild Blue Yonder. Then Empire of Death, because I was so disappointed by the end.
She named her after she was pointing at the sign to name her.
Yeah, it wasn't even necessarily the Sutex stuff that bothered me. I kind of already assumed that the Sutex stuff wasn't going to land as well as the setup was done, so I'd kind of resigned myself to that. But then the whole thing with Ruby's mum, and like, I'm sure I ranted about this before, but I can't remember. The issue isn't the fact that her mum is normal. The issue is the fact that Russell basically cock teases for 6 months, being, oh, who's her mum? Ruby's special. Look, Maestro's scared of her. She has this song inside of her that, where did this come from? Ruby has special powers. Ooh, and then it's just, no, literally her mum just abandoned her on a street.
Hooray!
Oh, no.
And I will still never fucking understand why Sutek cared so much about that. Like, a woman left a baby on a street. You are the god of death. Just kill them.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like she was only important because like we thought she was important. Yeah, but Russell, you fucking wrote it and told us that she was important. So obviously,
yeah, exactly.
Try and predict that.
Yeah,
anyway.
it did feel like Russell was going, ha ha ha, you thought she was going to be a big reveal, but she's not. And it's like, no, Russell, we only thought that because you told us it was. Ugh. Anyway, then funnily enough, right, even though I have said mostly good things about Joy to the World, that's next. That's 10th for me.
But then you've not had a lot of this era anyway yet. So
no, that is true.
The
but also,
it gets better as like there's some bigger leaps in terms of story quality.
Well, that's the thing. The jump in quality between Empire of Death and Joy to the World is noticeable. At least for me. And then I've got Church on Ruby Road, because overall I do think I actually did prefer Church on Ruby Road, but I liked them both roughly the same. Like, if this was a 7, Ruby Road was a 7.5. Like, it wasn't a massive difference.
Yeah.
Then I've got The Giggle, which is fine. It's pretty good. I never took massive umbrage with most of it. It's just I still don't think it was as good as RTD maybe wanted it to be, but it was not bad by any means. I'd give it a solid, like, 7.5, 8, maybe. Then this one might be controversial. I have 73 yards.
Okay. It's some people loved it, some people thought it was okay.
And I thought it was good. I just think Russell thought it was cleverer than it was.
Yeah, it was very sort of, in terms of everyone like takes the piss out of him, but like it was very Moffat-y in terms of I've been so very clever.
Look at me, I'm clever.
Look at me, you're not clever enough to understand
it. Without meaning to slag off Russell too much, usually when Moffat's been like, look at me, I've been very clever, at least he has actually been quite clever.
Yeah. Oh no, totally. Like there is instances where he's done that and it's worked, and times where he's done that and it's like, well, Stephen, you've kind of made it a bit too fucking big for your own brain, let alone ours.
I feel like 73 yards would have been better if it had mostly stayed in the sort of Welsh village.
Yes.
Because that setting was so interesting and really cool, and kind of have it be this sort of folk horror story, but then no, she had to go back to London, and then all the stuff there had to happen, and then she had to go and stop this man who we'd never really heard of before, but then somehow ended up being integral to the finale without actually seeing the bits that we were told about. It was very weird. Then I have Legend of Ruby Sunday, because even though Empire of Death was not a good follow-up, I thought Legend of Ruby Sunday was actually a great setup.
Yeah, it was a great part 1.
Yeah, really good part 1 that was just kind of let down.
The reveal was great because Connor watched that for the first time when we went to the
in person on the big screen,
to the double bill screen.
The screening, yeah.
I know I did shit myself a little bit with that reveal.
Yeah, it smelled like it.
If you smell,
they made it generally quite creepy.
It was creepy.
Well, the fact that you like to have avoided it for as long as you did, and then like the cliffhanger's great, and then for what comes next, it's a bit like, you've wasted a good part 1 on a crap part 2.
A week of your life in suspense. Yeah.
Then I have Dot and Bubble, which I actually thought was probably the most underrated episode of the series. I thought Dot and Bubble was pretty great. Yeah,
it's a bit underrated. I wish like maybe a newer writer had written it, and we could have sort of. It's a bit like it's a strange one because obviously like it's about racism, which is bad whenever or wherever it occurs. But it would have been nice for a different writer to maybe have been like, look, racism is bad, guys, instead of like, you know, at points it was maybe like, I don't know, like was it Russell just sort of being like, I'm the one that's going to solve racism by using Doctor Who. Whereas I would have like maybe a person of color writing it, someone like that, because it would have felt a bit more sort of like,
it would have felt more authentic if
disingenuous,
we'd have had. It would have felt more authentic if we had a person of color writing it.
Yeah, not to say that like not like white people shouldn't write about racism, but it's like
no.
You're like, we will never understand fully how that shit feels, because like that's just how society and life has been for hundreds of years, and it's a fucking travesty.
Yeah.
But to at least address it is amazing. I also I love how the hero of the story is insufferable, and at the end of the day, you wish she'd have just died.
Yeah, I like the episode had the balls to kind of make her unlikable, but sort of make you still want to root for her. And then, like towards the end of the episode, you pretty much around the time when she gets the guy killed that was helping her, you're like, oh, this bitch is just nasty.
Yeah, and the fact that the Doctor's like, despite all of it, still wants to help her.
Yeah,
and then the way like he lets out that emotion on the dock, and it's like, like he's not doing it because he has to. He's doing it because like he genuinely wants to try and save this girl from being like the rest of this world. But like he's just seeing the good in her, but it's clearly she's lost.
Then I have in fourth The Devil's Cord. Even though it's the episode I've rewatched the most from the season, I don't think it's the best, but it is definitely one of my favorites. I love The Devil's Cord. I think it's so fun.
I love that they sort of had to put Devil's Cord up with Space Babies, because Space Babies was that crap that they're like, we need to put a good episode in, so we'll do.
We need to make you wowed.
But it does make you think that maybe Devil's Cord could have just been the opener, because they had their first, you know, interaction in modern day in Church on Ruby Road, so maybe that could have been Devil's Cord first, and that would have been a.
Or you know, he could have just written something that wasn't Space Babies and given us something actually good.
Yeah,
incredible.
True.
Yeah.
Third, I have Rogue.
Yeah, I love Rogue.
Great.
Jonathan Groff is amazing.
I also love the sequel to the episode known as Gambit, coming season 2. Gambit. Just you wait, guys.
Which do you guys think I have first?
What's left?
Yeah. I'm making my list. So I've been paying attention, but I've also been shitting myself because I'm doing my list.
I think Wild Blue Yonder's at the top.
Yeah, Wild Blue Yonder, and what else? What is the other option?
Are the last two?
And Boom. Wow.
I think Wild Blue Yonder and then Boom.
I'm going to go the other way around.
Which one are you putting first, George?
Wild Blue Yonder, Boom second.
And I'll go Boom just to make heads and tails drama. I'll go
in
Boom
second place, I have put Boom.
Yeah,
honestly, it is amazing. It is so good. Moffat is on great form, and he really writes Shooty wonderfully. But there's just something about Wild Blue Yonder that I adore. And I remember the first time I finished watching it, I just sat there and went, "That was incredible." And I was like so shocked at how good I thought it was.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like it's when it's something different to what was happening. It was kind of midnight, but on more budget. Because you were on the episode when we reviewed it, wasn't you?
Yes, I was. Because I got swapped around. Because I think I was gonna do Star Beast, and then something occurred, so me and Mike swapped. And then I was really happy because I ended up not liking Star Beast, but loving Wild Blue Yonder.
Yeah, you really lucked out. And the Boom, it says a lot when, you know, where was Rogue?
Right below Boom. Rogue was third, Boom was second, while Blue Yonder's first for me.
It says a lot when two of your top 3 RTD era episodes are not written by Russell.
Yeah.
But it's nice to have different voices, and we hope there's more of them in season 2. But overall, in terms of your list, I think I'm near enough on the same sort of wavelength on you. Maybe I would have swapped Dot and Bubble and 73 Yards. But they're all near enough. You got a couple of really crap ones and underwhelming things in like Star Beast and Space Babies and things like that. But then you get sort of bigger jumps in quality, and there is stuff like this right at the top. And it's been
honestly,
an interesting era so far.
I think from The Devil's Cord to The Legend of Ruby Road is the strongest run of episodes we've had since Moffat left.
Yes. Episode 2 to 7, it's
they
it was
are great
exciting.
episodes.
It was
and then
exciting.
It's a bit like season 10, like it just goes to shit with the Monk trilogy. But other than that, like it's a great run. It's just a shame that it kind of stumbles at the end. And it's the same with this. It's like all that set up, and there was less episodes to do it in, so we had less time with these characters. And we had 2 episodes where the Doctor and Companion, aren't in all of them. Like you had, Ruby wasn't really in Boom because she got killed. The Doctor's not in 73 Yards or Dot and Bubble really, and neither's Ruby. It's like then to sort of still come away liking these characters as much as we did, like it's a testament. And I hope that the second season we get sort of more of these characters. Like I don't know how much Millie Gibson's actually in season 2 because I know she's still in it. Like she's not left
in it,
but she will still be part of it. But yeah, it's interesting so far. I'd say I'm near enough the same sort of ranking system as you. Connor, have you got anything majorly different?
I mean, does anyone want to guess what I've put bottom? Oh, I'm not going to go like onwards and upwards. Do you want to guess what my bottom one is, or do you want to guess?
I'm going to guess probably Space Babies.
As the best episode. Well, guess what, Andy? You are wrong. No. Space Babies at the bottom.
Yeah.
Is that a final answer?
Yep. I think
shock horror. Really, shock horror. Yes. Woohoo. And then what's number 1?
Boom.
What is number 1?
Give me your second, and I think I can guess the top
one. Second is Boom.
Second's Boom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I would say.
So do you have Wild Blue Yonder first?
Wild Blue Yonder, and then.
Rogue. Oh wait, no, is it Rogue?
It's not Rogue.
73 Yards.
It's not 73 Yards.
Is it Wild Blue Yonder?
It is Wild Blue Yonder.
There you go.
It's Wild Blue Yonder. Okay, there we go.
What is your third out of interest? Say your top.
At the minute, bearing in mind again, like every list, long-term viewers will know, I'm never happy with my initial thoughts. I want to change.
Happy with being on the podcast. We know.
well, no, I'm never happy with bloody these lists. Even I'm like cringing at my list, but I've put Church and Ruby Road as third.
Oh, okay.
At the minute, that could change, but Church and Ruby Road, I've put that high up. I'm surprised.
Have you rewatched season 1 at all?
No.
Yeah,
No.
So that's the thing. We're susceptible to change. It might change, but that's strong. So that's what we're thinking of RTD too. So we could put that to bed for now because we've got a fun quiz to do, I'm sure.
I want to give my criticisms of the era before I do the quiz because I mentioned the thing about the costumes and it gave me the idea. Am I right to just quickly run and grab some water and I'll be like 2 minutes?
Of course you can.
I'm going to quickly run and grab some water and I'll be right back.
That's
so
my
you've
rough
got
list.
So Space Babies, Empire. Oh yeah, you hated Empire of Death.
Yeah.
Joy to the World 11th.
Yeah, didn't care about it. I can change this bit a little bit, but yeah, Dot Bubble shouldn't be that low. But
I'm surprised the Star Beast is that high for you.
It's traditional Doctor Who, but then that could go down. In fairness,
I think
Star Beast above Giggle was
really
for me.
What didn't you like about the Giggle apart from the bi-generation?
It's not even that.
Really?
There was just something about the Giggle where it's epic and grand and as anniversarial as it was. I mean, that ain't even a word.
Okay, because they weren't really anniversary.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think that's probably what did it down. But Star Beast was just traditional RTD, almost series 4.5 in one episode. It felt
like they sort of stepped out and it was back into it. Yeah. So I'd say, I'd say maybe that was I'd say around 9 or 10th. I'd put the Giggle a lot. I think I'd put the Star Beast maybe 10th.
Star Beast.
The Giggle wouldn't be that much higher above the Star Beast just because it was like a
Dot and Bubble I needed to put up.
Do you know what I think affects sort of was more for me in terms of like my gauging quality on them is just how good that one was. So then you immediately go to the other two around it and you're like,
yeah. Like I'm surprised. I'm surprised I put Rogue that high.
I'm just looking at Connor's list. So he's got we'll cut this bit out anyway because we've finished that section.
Yeah.
So he's got from bottom to top, Space Babies, Empire of Death, Joy to the World, Dot and Bubble, 73 Yards, Legend of Ruby Sunday, The Giggle, The Star Beast, Rogue, Devil's Called, Church on Ruby Road, Boom, Wild Blue Yonder.
Bearing in mind, I've not
Wow.
had the time and free to rewatch it as much as like we all would have liked. But yeah, initial gut reactions. That's kind of how I feel about the era. But then
Starbase is way higher than it is for me.
yeah, that's the only thing. Even Dot and Bubble, I feel guilty for Dot and Bubble. But yeah,
I don't know, because you could say I put it down there because I hate racism.
exactly. That's the political answer.
And
Yeah.
then if anyone argues with you, you can say, but then that you're a racist. That's all you can do.
You are racist.
Go on, your criticism of Rhaenyra so far, Andy.
So the big issue that I've found I have with RTD2, I have to really catch myself to not make sure I don't say R2D2. The big issue I have with the big issue I have with RTD2 at the moment is it doesn't feel like anything gets the chance to stick around long enough for like us to get fully attached. Like a good example is Ruby, who I really like, and going into the series I was really hyped for as a companion because it was like, oh, she's a musician, she writes songs, and as a musician who songwrites, that was like a really cool thing that I was looking forward to seeing. And then we saw it twice, and we only saw her actually really perform once. But then, like you kind of mentioned earlier, we've had 9 episodes of Ruby, and in 3 of those, in 2 of those, she was barely really in it, in Boom and Dot and Bubble. And then 73 Yards, it was just her, but no Doctor. So in terms of actually seeing the Doctor-companion relationship, out of the 9 episodes, we've had 6.
6. Yeah.
And that doesn't feel like enough to really...
Yeah,
like,
and that's the problem with the structuring now, isn't it?
Of this era.
That we've lost, in terms of old money, we've lost 5 episodes from the old episode count.
Yeah. But then it feels like... And now we're already moving on to another companion. And it's like, well, if we're only going to get 8 episodes with this one, what's the point in getting attached?
We're only going to get 4 because of random script reasons we won't find out until 6 months' time. No, like, not to counteract your point or just to bounce off of your point, like, it's valid. Yeah, we've got 8 episodes this year with this new companion, but then how's to say that we're not going to have a very similar structure where Doctorless episode, companionless episode, that even means even less time, and we're going to get, say 8, we're going to get even less than Ruby. We're going to get 5 out of 8 episodes where they're on screen together. I'm just making it up, but also pointing out the patterns and similarities of the RTD runs. And
he's got the runs. Poor man. Yeah. I would say, like, just in terms of context, she's been in the same amount of episodes as Dan, the plasterer from Liverpool. And I felt more of a handle on that version of the character.
What, on Dan?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, like, he was sort of like, apart from the fact that the Doctor leaves him homeless at the end, it's like, like, you sort of immediately got who he was. Like, you saw his parents and stuff, and I know, like, we've seen a bit of her mum and her nan and like things like that, and then the whole like mystery is like, oh, who is this mysterious girl? We got to get to this element, and then it doesn't matter, and then the Doctor still left her anyway. I know, like, she's got to work out her own things and whatever, but it's also like, so are you going back to her? I know she's going to appear in like some of season 2. I don't know how much time we're just going to get with. What's the new companion's name? Does anyone know offhand?
Do we actually know yet? I don't know. I'm going to look it up and see if we actually do know it.
Which is confusing because that was the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah, Rani Chandra. Yeah.
Belinda Chandra.
Belinda Chandra. Maybe she's related to. Maybe we'll get Andy Mahindra back. It's her cousin.
Space Cousin.
Space Cousins. Space Cousins is episode 1 of season 2.
Sequel to Space Baby. Space Cousins.
What is, because I did share it, didn't I? What apparently so far the leaks for the first half of the season.
Yes, you did. Yeah. You did share them.
So from at set DW, Doctor Who Filming Locations, the working titles, potential writers and directors for season 2, episodes 1 to 4 to be confirmed. The Robot Revolution by Russell. Lux, which is a fucking brave title.
Yeah.
Russell. 5 Miles Deep by Shawarma,
Could-
Waffle, and RTD. I'm
Could
sorry
that
about your
tie
name.
into
butchering your name.
Could that tie into the Land of the Sea?
5 Miles Deep, yeah.
Maybe. Is that a Silurian episode?
Maybe Sharma, Waffle. I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I really do apologise. And Lucky Day by Pete McTeague.
Lucky day. Lucky day.
Well, more Pete McTeague, yes.
Yeah.
Please.
So, looking at the 4 episodes, the 2 I was drawn to were 5 Miles Deep or Lucky Day. Lucky Day mainly just because it's wrote by Pete McTighe, and I actually quite enjoyed his 2 episodes for 13. But
And his lovely trailer for the box sets.
And I think Will has already bagged that one though, so I guess I will be taking 5 Miles Deep.
That's fine. I mean, there are 4 other episodes after that. We just don't know the titles of them yet.
True. Yeah.
So whenever we know more about them, Andy, you are free to claim whichever episode you like. I know Guy Lambert has claimed one of them, but like I'm also up for doubling up because we've obviously got Mike and DK.
Double up, round up.
On Mike and DK are doing episode 1. So
yeah.
You know,
Space Cousins.
I've got yes, they're doing Space Cousins.
Space Cousins, Lux, lesbian puddle lovers.
Lux lesbian. Maybe that's what that's the brand. Lux lesbian puddle lovers. Lesbian puddle lovers brought to you by Lux.
Brought to you by Lux. Because my name is Lux. Ding, cousin of Max.
Yeah, and they're Space
Well,
Cousins.
but we've already had Lux. That was in Silence in the Library.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's
What?
F. It's Flux with the F silent.
The F fell off.
Yeah,
look like Charlotte Abigail Lux. What is Cal? And that was Steve Pemberton wasted in Doctor Who. Good times.
I'm still really hoping that we get the Trickster appearing in this era because now that he's officially canonized as part of this pantheon, he was mentioned in Legend of.
Well, maybe he's just trapped somewhere 5 miles deep with the Silurians having a rave. I don't know.
Doing some cocaine with the Silurians. Because there's an episode in set in Miami or whatever, where on the theater there's a mention of one of the pantheon. So maybe the pantheon are kind of going to be the through line for, if not the Russell era, maybe the Shooty Gatlers
They're going to
era.
be like the cracks in time. Yeah. They're just going to be the reoccurring.
I quite like the pantheon. I think it's a pretty neat idea.
I'd like to see more of them. I'd like to see the Mara back. That'd be great. So we've had the toy maker, Sutek,
Maestro.
and then the others were and bloody what's her name?
Maestro.
Maestro,
Yeah,
yes.
there you go. Yeah,
and then we've had the others mentioned. So the Trickster maybe to be Shooty Gatwa's finale or Russell T Davies 2's finale. We shall see.
And oh my god!
The Trickster's such a cool villain, and it is a shame that he's only ever appeared in the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Yeah, he's a villain that would have worked in Torchwood as well as Doctor Who. You could have had many different adventures with him, and hopefully we will again. But first, we must journey into the mind of Mr. Andy Kemp, who has devised a quiz. He's the quiz master. He's like Richard Osmond, but he's got a gun.
Have I? Oh God, no! Don't give me a gun. Damn, I don't trust myself with it.
Second to only Christopher Lee's golden gun. Sorry.
I'm going to say Christopher Nolan.
Oh no!
I'll if you sit down on set.
I'll quickly wrap up my thoughts, my criticisms of the era because I didn't quite get all the point, the thoughts that I had.
Sorry,
it was just it's fine. It's just because I know I use Ruby as an example, but it really does just feel like there's nothing particularly consistent in this era so far to be able to sort of latch on to. We mentioned with Shooty's costume, we had that photo and then he never wore that costume. We saw the photo of what was to be his Doctor costume and then he wore it once. And it's it just feels like this era just isn't sticking to anything. And it's kind of making it kind of difficult to get attached to, personally, I guess.
Yeah, because what they're telling us isn't what we're getting. This is his costume, but he's worn the leather jacket. Not that we got a problem with it, but he's worn the leather jacket costume majority, and you would say that would be his definitive Doctor look at the moment.
Yeah.
You've had, Ruby's mum's really important, but she's not.
Exactly.
We're being told one thing and then shown another.
And it also feels like slightly different criticism, but it really does feel like Russell, and I think this kind of got said during the finale of season 1 anyway, but it feels like Russell it feels like he cares more about what's going to get people talking as opposed to what's actually going to be good to watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
this
it's really
time
important to
around.
get the audience back.
Yeah,
and
this
that's
time
what he
around.
cares about.
Mm.
And that's a little bit worrying, just because that shouldn't be the focus, really.
No, but we live in hope
and
that season 2 can prove us wrong, don't we?
Yeah, and it feels
I
like the
hope
man
the
just
season 2 finale won't be the same as season 1's finale.
yeah. It just feels like the man doesn't know how to keep his cards close to his chest. It feels like at any opportunity he's going like, oh, look at this cool thing that I've come up with, and then it's like,
And then we're going to
well,
call him out and go, liar!
yeah. I don't know. It's funny because in terms of the actual season as a whole, like I said, Devil's Call to Legend of Ruby Sunday was the strongest run of episodes we've had in a very long time. But
Epic
even
run,
with that taken into account, I still have criticisms of the era as a whole, just with the way it's been structured. And I understand less episodes because the budget's higher. And so I get that. But I feel like if you're going to have to do a shorter series, at least make the series itself sort of more consistent and less focus on. And I know they kind of had to do it because of Shooty's shooting schedules with other shows, but
Be
it
careful.
really
One
did
more
put a
English shot.
hindrance. I know, but it really did put a hindrance on the dynamic between him and Ruby because, like we already mentioned, they only were together for 6 of the 9 episodes they've had, and yeah, it's that lack of consistency. I think is just a bit of a sticking point for me so far.
No, all valid though. Like that's to say,
Yeah,
you're
very
sort
valid
of
points.
mirroring my concerns, if any for the era. Like you two have sort of vocalized my inner turmoil in the Who era, anyway. But yeah, like I say, I'm still optimistic. I've still got faith and confidence in this run, and I'd like to think that time and history that we've had over the last 12 months won't exactly repeat twice in a show that's about change and growth and ultimately I would say new ideas, but realistic, groundbreaking ideas and like political conversations that are forever going to be happening. So whatever we might have the best episode in the first episode this time around, and then
we don't know what we're going to get.
We might have a shit middle and an amazing end. I don't know.
The only thing that's going to be the problem is where they shot these sort of like close together, so they're not going to take any of the feedback and criticism. Not that they should,
for that,
but they're not going to take any of that back into it until season 3, if we do get that. If it's still on the BBC, if it's still part of Disney's plans to help like fund it, or whether they're going to have to go even more low budget. We might lose more episodes. We don't know.
I hope not.
We live in hope to be proved wrong, don't we?
Of course, yeah.
For every bad Doctor episode, there's an amazing one.
Exactly that.
I am optimistic. It's just there's some sticking points that are kind of niggling at me at the minute.
Yeah, but this time next year we might be having a different conversation, Andy. You might be like, it's sort of a lot different on this. If I had to push you, I know like we're going to get onto the quiz, but if I had to push you for, in terms of this series, compare so far. Like if you had to compare season 14, season 1, whatever it is for you, to the rest of, Christopher Eccleston onwards, like where would it sort of fall at the minute?
Ooh, well, it's definitely not breaking my top 5, that's for sure. Like
you said, strong run of episodes, so I doubt it would be at the very bottom.
No, I'd say probably quite middle of the road again. To be fair.
For me, I'd say like top 8. It's 8th, 7th, like sick, fat, and maximum push if the finale starts landing.
Thinking about it, I'd probably put it around 8th. I'm trying to think. Right. So season 11 is my least favorite. Then I'd probably say, probably Flux, just because I was really optimistic about Flux, and then it had 2 amazing episodes and 4
yeah, exactly.
episodes.
Yeah.
Then probably Series 2, which I know is slander because it's RTD1, but I always thought Series 2 was one of the weaker series. Series 2 is an interesting one because it has very high highs but very low lows. Then probably Series 7, as much as I do like it, I have to concede that it is Moffat's weakest series. Then probably 12. So this is what we're I've done 5 seasons so far, and we've got 14. So we're up to... Oh, yeah, this might be where Series 14 goes, I don't know. Possibly in 8th spot, I think. Because my top 5, from 1 to 5, Series 5, Series 10, Series 6, Series 4, Series 9. Then I'd probably say Series 1, then 8. See, it's between 3 and 14, I think.
I'm amazed at Series 9 being in your top 5.
Oh, I love Series 9. I think Series 9 is really underrated.
Okay, I feel like no. That's the thing. Out of all of us, I'm like the one that rewatches Doctor Who the least. But honestly, since me, if I hadn't have met George, if we hadn't been in this room talking right now, I still probably wouldn't have watched series like from 2014. So I did Series 8 back in 2014. So Series 9 through to 20, it was just before Series 11, Jodie Whittaker's era. So Series 9, Series 10, I'd completely missed. And then I had a bit of a gap year in 2011, Series 6, and I felt like an idiot for missing that year because, oh boy, what a season 6 is. So Series 9, Season 10 are massively due a rewatch anyway. But even the first bit of Series 7 is a bit of a blur. So that basically the 2010s is when I dipped originally.
Yeah.
So all of that isn't in my top 5 with a push at based off of initial memory, Series 10 being that damn good above the rest, for me anyway, in the 2010s if you like. But then my top 5 without really breaking it down is RTD1 and Series 5. And then, shoot me for not watching Series 6 at the time, because that's probably like my one Who regret is that I didn't stick around for that fucking year.
I would argue Series 6 and Series 9, I think, are the most underrated runs of the show. Because I think the general consensus is, I think people generally agree that Series 10 was really good. And I can see why people had faults with 8, even though I enjoyed it personally. But I think 6 and 9 get massively overlooked.
See, I didn't have many faults with 8. It's not I chose not to. So I did Series 8, then did A Magician's Apprentice, which is familiar. And then I was going to stick the landing with Series 9, but then life got in the way. And I just, for every reason, fate didn't let me do it. And then I got around to Series 9 having met George, and I kind of wanted to die. I did not like Series 9 upon initial viewing, and I still haven't gone back to it. But that's my honest reaction to Series 9. Minus Husband's a River Song. And was there anything else I liked about Series 9 apart from the opener? Not even the finale. What was Series 9's finale? Oh no, of course, Heaven Sent, yeah, Heaven Sent being incredible. The other one, it happens.
I will die on the hill that Hell Bent is an amazing episode that people misunderstood.
Me massively being counted in that. That's fine. I'm not going to be offended at all. Like, I'll openly admit that I didn't get Series 9 back when, watched it many years after it was outdated anyway. But I still need to go back.
What I think helps make Series 9 so good for me is that even though I did have it fit, it's not touching my top 4. I think, even though Amy is probably my favorite companion, I think Clara and 12 have the most interesting and complex dynamic, and I love that, and that makes Series 9 for me really good because it's where that culminates.
Yeah.
I think for a lot of people, from my experience, I think whether or not you enjoy Series 9 can kind of hinge on how much you like Clara, because she's so integral to it.
But that's the thing. I had no issues with her in Series 8 and Series 7 and Oswin and everyone else. I liked Clara until Series 9. I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm basing this off of memories like a good, honestly, 6-7 years ago now. So that's how long I've not gone back to that.
Series 9 is nearly 10 years old.
I know, and that makes me feel disgusting. But
maybe we'll have to celebrate that this year. Possibly.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. It'd be an excuse to watch it again.
But yes.
Anyway,
quiz.
Go on, George.
Where I'd put season 14 at the minute.
Yeah, that's a question. Yeah. Put season 14.
It wouldn't be at the very bottom. Like my least favorite seasons are probably like 7, 9,
Yeah.
Flux. 11's fine, but we had like a revamp season in season 10, and like that was like the year before. So like just to do it again, season 11 of we're going back to basics and doing it for new fans. It's a bit like especially when series 12 they're just like, and fucking bring everything back. Here's the Master, here's the Cybermen, here's the Daleks again, but in between. Yeah, so I'd say it'd be above like Flux and 9. It's hard because like I love 2, but 2's like the weaker of the RTD series. But yeah, that's too much to get into right now. But
it's really funny with series 2 because I would argue that series 2 probably has my 2 absolute favorite RTD1 stories in Girl in the Fireplace and the Satan 2-parter. I think Girl in the Fireplace and the Satan Pit 2-parter are 2 of the best stories of modern Who, but they're just kind of chucked in a series that otherwise is quite meh.
Hungry.
Also, I think this might be sacrilege. I don't know. I think Doomsday is RTD's best finale, but
possibly is, yeah. In terms of having like it has to get bigger.
Those memories I'll never forget watching Doomsday for the first time. They will never go away.
The hype
Passing
around
of the Ways is great. Doomsday I think is pretty amazing. Last of the Time Lords is and I think Journey's End. I think a lot of the
it works the first
love
time
for that episode. Yes, I think a lot of the sort of love for that episode rides on the fact that it's this huge ensemble thing. But when you kind of take that out of it and look at it as a story, it's very meh.
Yeah, vanilla-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is, yeah. So that's our thoughts so far on RTD2. So have we got some joy that you're bringing to our world, Andy?
I do indeed. Because I enjoyed doing it so much the first time, and you two seems to enjoy it, even though I subjected you to it, I have done a second round of my quotes quiz.
Yes.
Oh, good lord.
Let's do it. Let's end on a high.
Even more embarrassing in person.
We're in the room to do it together this time, whereas last time...
And there's a good mixture. There's a lot from RTD1 here. But again, I tried to do stuff from across all of Modern Who. I even have one of the RTD2 in here.
Lovely stuff.
So I've tried to do an eclectic mix at least, but it is most of the first 10 series because that's what I remember the most.
How many quotes have you got?
There's 20 this time because I thought 15 was a bit of a weird number.
Right,
so we've got that, and I kept thinking of them. I was like, well, I've got to include it. So you get a point for the person who says it, and you get a point for the episode.
Okay,
fine.
Good luck.
So,
good luck.
Number 1. Quote number 1. I spent a lot of time with you thinking I was second best, but do you know what? I am good.
I know this. I'll give you a chance. Can you think of it? Or?
I spent a lot of time with you, but
I was second best. But do you know what? I am good.
Martha, right? Martha Jones?
Yes.
It must be Last of the Time Lords, right? She's basically saying, sod off, Doctor.
Yay! 2 points to Connor!
Yeah, all right.
So I've never been prouder of you.
I realised because I re-listened to the first one I did before writing this one, so I could remember what the ones were, and I realised I never did a Martha quote, and I felt bad about that, so I made sure to do her
one
first.
Of the best companions.
Yeah,
I know. I love Martha. She's very underrated. Okay, number 2. Playing lovesick songs for heartbroken lesbians.
Oh. Lovesick songs for heartbroken lesbians. Is this from like
feels more recent?
Fucking Unearthly Child.
I know what. I know.
Lovesick songs.
It's not New Earth, right?
No.
I'm trying to think of where there's music involved.
Yeah.
I don't know. But...
Would it help if I gave you the year? Because that's the clue we did last time. The year is 2024.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I was going to say, it had to be more recent. Yeah.
So season 1.
Yeah.
Go on.
From which episode?
There's only one episode where there's music.
Right. All right, is it Rogue?
It is not Rogue.
Yeah.
Is it the Devil's Chord?
It is the Devil's Chord.
Is it Maestro?
Yay! 2 points to George.
Because I was like, did Ruby say it in like Church on Ruby Road? Or
Context. Yeah. If you remember in the Devil's Chord, Maestro first appears to the Doctor and Ruby after Ruby's playing what is non-diegetically her theme song on the piano on the roof. But in the canon of the show, she says she wrote this song for her best friend who was getting over her girlfriend.
Yeah.
So she plays her theme on the piano. Obviously, we know it as Ruby's theme. In the show, it's this song that she wrote. And that's what summons Maestro to them. And then in the climax, when it's like the big battle against Maestro, Maestro sort of mentions she's like got Ruby all tangled up in those notes, and she's like, she's like goading her about how she wrote like lovesick songs for heartbroken lesbians. Or playing lovesick songs for heartbroken lesbians, and that line stuck with me. I found it very funny.
I can picture the scene, but yeah, that totally blanked. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, no,
okay.
Try not to forget that one.
Let's go.
I won't forget that one.
Well, next.
Number 3. Well, I'm usually quite vague about that. I think I just picked the title because it makes me sound important.
So that's the Doctor saying it.
Or is it?
Oh, no. I think I've got it now because you've said that.
Say the quote again one more time for me, Andy.
Well, I'm usually quite vague about that. I think I just picked the title because it makes me sound important.
I've got it.
Yeah.
You know it?
I've got ideas, but you say yours. You say yours.
I believe, Andrew, it is Missy saying it in World Enough and Time.
I can confirm that you are wrong.
Yeah, okay. I've got a couple of really random ideas. One of them being like random, but the other one
even more random.
Yeah,
less
so I'll
random.
go with the less random one first. I'm gonna title. I don't know. I'm gonna think River, Series 4 in the library at some point. I can't picture the scene at all. Not that
that is wrong.
Yeah, fine. But then I'm going to go really obscure. And I don't know why this is sticking out to me or why this is inking. Blink and Sally Sparrow or the bloke that
I really had my fingers crossed for you, but no, it's not Blink.
Oh, fine. Oh,
wait, it?
Blink twice. Streaming
Would you like the year?
Yeah,
that's
fine.
all right. We technically got it wrong. So I'm happy to.
Wrong. Completely.
I'm happy to give you the year and help narrow it down. It's 2014.
Oh, so this is George's era. This is not hashtag not my era. No, Series 8 was the last season I watched. I don't know.
Series 8, Kill the Moon, or The Caretaker, The Doctor.
Do you give up, or would you like one last guess?
The Doctor. Oh no. Clara in Death in Heaven. Oh no.
Do we give him a point for Clara? Because that is correct.
Oh. Yeah. So Clara with the Doctor's fucking consciousness in her, or like, oh, I'm the Doctor now. And
when she pretends to be the Doctor.
Yeah, exactly that.
At the end of Series 8.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think I've given you a lot of guesses now. I'll give George a point for Clara. So George has 3 points. Connor has 2. The episode is Flatline.
Oh yeah, with Riggs in that when she's bit, you have to be
when she has to be the Doctor because he's stuck in the TARDIS, and she's explaining to the
he had a day off to have a hair.
She's explaining to the sort of community workers who she is, and when the guy goes like, "What do you mean you're the Doctor?" and she says, "Well, I'm using what are you a doctor of or something?" and she's like, "Well, I'm usually quite vague about that. I think I just picked the title because it makes it sound important." Because she's
that's very good. Yeah, that was a proper tongue twister. Yeah.
Because she's taking the piss out of him.
Yes.
Because he can hear everything she's saying. Because that's like, oh no, that's it. Because the scene is, one of them says, what are you a doctor of, and 12 goes, of lies. And then Clara says, well, I'm usually quite vague about that. So like, it's like they're having like a jab back and forth without the others knowing that they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
The reason
Number
why, it's not to cut you off very quickly, the reason why I went Blink is there was a scene with Sally and I think the Doctor's on telly and with the bloke she was with. CD, yeah, the tapes, the CDs.
What are you a doctor? Yeah, like it would have been an RTD one kind of.
Yeah, like that was.
Yeah.
Doctor of cheese making.
I'm the Doctor of title. Yeah, or whatever. Yeah.
I can see the logic. Okay. Number 4. You're a very violent young woman.
Oh.
That's RTD1, isn't it?
It is. Did you hear it in her voice? Because I hear it in her voice every time I quote that line, which is surprisingly often.
Yeah, but now you said that, I feel like you've given me more of a clue.
Is it historical? Is it in the past?
No.
Oh. Go on, you go for it. You've got something.
I'm going to say the quote from me again because I'm going to try and see if I hear the same voice as you, Andy.
You're a very violent young woman.
So I'm going to go... It's 2 people. I'm going to go Cassandra in Rose's Body in New Earth.
Unfortunately, that is wrong.
Damn it! Damn it.
Literally nothing's coming to mind, so I'll have to fold.
Go on, Connor. You had another one. Let's see if it's that.
Oh, good lord. And what did you say what year it was or not?
I can give you the year if you want.
Yeah, please. Now, if it's not Series 2, then whatever. That's fine. Just narrow it down.
The year is 2005.
Oh, what? Series 1? You're a very violent young woman.
Oh, God,
You're a violent young woman.
It's like I can see it, but it's foggy.
Yeah, right. Okay, initial gut Jackie Tyler? But who's she calling a violent young woman?
It's not Jackie Tyler.
Oh, it's not the... No.
Your last clue is it is someone addressing Rose or talking to Rose.
Right, but who then... You're a violent young woman. Who says that to Rose? It ain't like a playful Captain Jack flirt line.
Nope.
No.
Oh, no, I don't know.
Yeah, that's
got like Dr. Constantine or something.
Do you want me to just tell you?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
It is Harriet Jones in World War III.
That was my last fault. Yeah.
For some reason, I was getting like Simon Callow in fucking Unquiet Dead, or like
they're in the cabinet room, and I can't remember exactly what Rose says, but they're in the cabinet room, and I'm sure she says something about can't we just blow them up? And Harriet just turns to her with this like almost disturbed look on her face and goes, "You're a very violent young woman."
Yes,
I just picture it now.
Good old Penelope Wilton.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow,
love it. Okay, number 5. I'm sorry, everyone. Another ranting Scotsman in the street. I had no idea there was a match on.
I've got this.
Another ranting Scotsman in the streets.
I'm trying to send it mentally to Connor.
Contact.
It's Series 8, isn't it?
Yes.
When was there a cliffhanger in Series 8, Connor?
Another violent Scotsman.
Another ranting Scotsman. Get out! Go!
Another violent ranting Scotsman.
Couldn't very well keep calling myself.
Yeah, exactly. It's Missy, yeah. It's Scotsman that did it for me. I thought Michelle Gomez and Peter Capaldi, but yeah, it's Missy then. Michelle Gomez.
It is Missy.
Yeah.
No,
fine.
wrong episode!
Oh, fuck, it's the other one, isn't it? Shit, what's it called? Not Death in Heaven, it's...
Go on, George. Go on, say it and get yourself a point, because then you're both still pretty much level.
Dark water.
I was going to go cold.
Yes, it's dark water. I'll give Connor a point for Missy and George a point for
I knew I'd butcher the
for dark water. So I think the score is currently 4-3 to Con. No, wait. Who against Clara? Was it George? I think it was George. Yes, so it's currently 4-3 to George currently. But yes, it's Missy in Dark Water when the Doctor's trying to get everyone to get away from St. Paul's Cathedral because of the Cybermen, and Missy's just sat on the step, and she's like, "I'm very sorry, everyone. Another ranting Scotsman in the street. I had no idea there was a match on."
Yeah, okay. Damn it, yeah.
Number 6. Another character I realised I never did a quote of in the first one, so I had to do it. Okay.
Ooh.
You just summoned aliens back to Earth. Actual aliens. deadly aliens, aliens of death, and now you're taking your clothes off.
Is it Rory?
It is Rory.
And the year is 2010, right?
Yes.
So then, 11th
Apologies in advance for what, the bill?
11th hour then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, huzzah!
2 points to Connor.
Oh, cool.
I love Rory. I love After
Oh,
Dark, but I love Rory.
Rip Hunter, yeah.
Oh. Okay, next one. This is the quote that made me want to do a second one because for some reason I randomly remembered this line existed and I was like, I have to do this now. Number 7. Since when did you watch the news? You can't handle quiz mania.
Oh, no, that's...
Oh,
I feel like I've heard it as well, but...
oh, hang on. I know the character. I'm trying to narrow down the episode, so I'll let Connor have a guess if he can.
Oh,
I've got it.
Can't even watch the news, Quizmania.
Oh, drop me pen. Me clapperboard pen. We'll get it after.
That's an outtake.
Do you know? Do you know it?
I mean, I don't on top of my head. I need clues. I can't narrow that one down.
I'd like to solve, please, Jeff.
Yeah, go ahead.
I would say it is Francine Jones, Martha's mother.
Went where I was going.
Yes.
In Smith and Jones, saying it.
It is exactly that.
Her dad's girlfriend.
Saying it to Annalise, yes.
Yeah.
So
they were drugged. It said so on the news. Since when did you watch the news?
When did you watch the news? You can handle Quizmania.
Brilliant line. Oh,
I love that line. Oh. What an underrated character. People shit on her because she was like really rude to the doctor, but I understand why she was.
Yeah, any mother would want to protect their child from a crazed man that a dodgy politician told them that was bad, even though that wasn't the master. Who was the guy that told Martha Jones about Saxon? Or was it before they cast John Sim? We'll never know.
Also, Joa Ando is just a great actor anyway, so, you know,
Yes.
she's great in anything she's on screen for.
Yes, she's amazing.
Okay. I fucking love that line. It's so funny. Next one, number 8. No, but I do like poncing about in a big plane.
In a big plane? No,
I do like poncing about in a big plane.
Yeah.
2015.
Yeah,
Series 9, yeah. I was
George
gonna
era.
say.
Yeah, that's very obscure, that one.
President of the universe, isn't it? So, it's the Doctor saying it on his presidential plane.
It is indeed.
Zygon invasion?
It is indeed! Yes!
Oh, bloody hell.
I know in one of them he's on it and then it blows up. But I can never...
it's Zygon inversion, he's on the plane, and then Bonnie, aka Zygon Clara, blows it up at the end of the episode, and that's the cliffhanger.
Blimey, wow. Good stuff. That's good stuff. I'm impressed by that.
I almost went with London, what a dump, which was the following, literally the next scene in the next episode.
And just
when they crash land. Okay. So that is, I believe, 9 for George and 5 to Connor currently?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's fine.
Number 9.
Somehow, I don't know.
Number 9. Excellent. Positive attitude will help with the horror to come.
Excellent positive attitude will help the horror to come. Horror to come.
What
positive
year?
Attitude.
2017.
Series 10 then. All right. Excellent positive attitude with the horror to come.
I'm going to guess an episode. I don't know the character.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Empress of Mars?
Unfortunately not.
Ah.
With the horrors to come, I'm only gonna. It's not the two-parter. It's not thin ice.
It's not Thin Ice.
I don't know then.
No.
We're kind of getting close.
Was the character? If you said the character, that would have been obvious.
Yes.
Who's the character it's being said to?
Oh, okay, there you go. Yeah.
It's being said to Bill.
Being said to excellent attitude, the horrors to come.
Excellent positive attitude will help with the horror to come.
Is it the Doctor in? Oh, what? I don't remember the fucking order. Hang on.
It's not the Doctor.
No, is it Pyramid at the End of the World?
Nope.
Lie of the Land?
Nope.
I don't know then.
Oh, it's not Missy.
Connor, I am sending it to you telepathically. It is not Missy. Missy has already had a quote on the list. I've made sure to only give one quote per character.
Oh, great. Okay.
Nardole.
Yeah, exactly. It's not Nardole.
This is obscure, but for some reason I couldn't get this line out of my head.
I don't know. I give up.
It's a Dalek saying it to Bill.
It is
excellent positive attitude.
It is Mr. Razor, aka the Master, in World Enough and Time.
Well, that was you bastard. I was going to say
it's when he's in disguise and he's like tricking Bill into thinking that he's like looking after her, and he's like when he first catches her and takes her to his little den, he's like, "Would you like some tea?" And she's like, "Sure." And he's like, "Okay, would you like the good tea or the bad tea?" And she says, "The good tea." And he goes, "Excellent, positive attitude will help with the horror to come." And she goes, "What horror?" And he goes, "Mainly the tea."
Yeah, okay. Annoyed at myself slightly because that. Yeah, fine. Okay, I'll take defeat in that one. But yeah, go with your gut. Moral of the story: go with your gut.
When you said it's not the two-parter, I wanted to be like, it's one of them, but then you'd kind of already moved on from it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So number 10. No points there. Number 10. Right then. I have questions, but number 1 is this: what in the name of sanity have you got on your head?
Is it 2010?
It is 2010.
Say the quote again.
Right then, I have questions, but number 1 is this: what in the name of sanity have you got on your head?
Yeah, so it's River saying that to the Doctor, with the Fez, in the Big Bang, right?
Yay! 2 points to Connor.
Yeah, woo, yeah.
So proud of this boy.
The Fez, yeah.
That's such a good.
Yeah.
You could do this with just River lines, really, couldn't you?
River has so many iconic lines. I fucking love that woman.
What are you a doctor of?
There is
archaeology.
I did that in the first one. That's what I did in the first round. Yeah. Oh god. If gun to my head, if I had to pick my favorite character across the entirety of Doctor Who, it might genuinely be River.
That's not a bad thing, is it?
I love River so much. Anyway, number 11. These are hard times for women. If we're not being drowned, we're being patronised to death.
Is that 2018?
Yes.
Is it the Doctor saying that?
It is.
Or Jodie Whittaker, to be specific.
Yeah, the actress Jodie Whittaker is saying it.
Yeah, not just all 13. All 13 Doctors. Really random.
I think Alan Cumming's in it, and he fancies Ryan.
Yes, and then the Witchfinders.
Yeah, it's the Witchfinders. Yeah. So who gave me what part there? Because your voices kind of blended together.
Well, that was Connor doing both of them. I was sending him the
perfect.
Yeah.
So it's 9-all at the moment, I believe. Yes. Yeah. Cool.
Wow.
Oh, good. Yeah, this is a good game of football.
Number 12. Curves. Oh baby, it's like living inside a bouncy castle.
Oh, I know this one.
I feel like it's coming back.
It's like one of your own.
Right. I was going to say it's quite funny because I'm pretty sure Connor guessed this earlier.
It's Cassandra Inside Rose in New Earth.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, right. That had to be a Cassandra quote.
Yeah, it's when Cassandra first sort of enters Rose. I think it's before, because I almost went with "Oh no, I'm a chav," which I think is slightly after
Yeah.
this. But yeah, it's when she's first in Rose's body and she's like feeling herself up and she's like, curves, oh baby, it's like living inside a bouncy castle.
You could have done loads from that episode as well. Like
that's another quote heavy
good
episode.
God,
you know what?
I'm disgusting.
I don't really like that episode from a plot standpoint, but from a comedy camp standpoint, that episode is good. It's very camp.
Baby, I'm beating out of a samba.
Okay. Number 13. It's like a kitchen, a really posh kitchen, all metal. What happened with the doors, though? Did you run out of money?
I think that's Bill.
It is Bill.
Because the only other person to mention the kitchen is Victorian Clara, I think, in like that context.
I believe it is, yes.
Yeah. Is there a kitchen? Another first. I think. Well, it must be the pilot.
Yay! 2 points for George.
As I say, the kitchen you're referring to, the TARDIS.
Yeah, because she saw the TARDIS in Ep 1. It wasn't like the gang where like they didn't see the TARDIS until
later on.
Yeah.
So who gave me both parts for the last one? Was that George or Connor?
When I did the last one, I just did this one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe we're still tied up.
11-all?
11-all.
Yeah, I believe so, yes.
Oh, best game of football I've ever watched.
Okay, number 14. Sir, emergency, I think I've been run over by a cab.
Oh.
Wait, I've been run over by a cab. A cab.
Do you want me to do the voice? Like maybe, sir, emergency, I think I've been run over by a cab.
That was actually a pretty good impression.
What?
It's a Christmas special. I believe this.
See, that wasn't where I was going to go.
I believe this is 2012.
Right, the snowmen then, right?
Yes.
Fine, because when I just heard the line cab, I went to space cab and I went to gridlock.
Oh, I mean that's a.
But I don't get anyone getting run over.
Like cab, a carriage, like a horse.
Yeah, exactly.
Carriage.
But yeah,
who drives the horse and carriage and speaks to Thomas?
God knows. No, I don't know the character.
You don't know it?
No,
well, it's really awkward because this is going to keep it tied up, but it's Strax.
So say the quote there. Say the quote.
It's the memory worm.
You get a point each.
Worm, isn't it?
He's trying to wipe Clara's memory with a memory worm. And then, like, did you get it? Get what, sir?
Get what, sir?
No, emergency. I think I've been run over by a cab.
Because he forgets to put the gloves on.
Yeah, okay.
Do you want me to get the memory worm?
It has to. The Snowmen is the last episode I've watched, but bearing in mind that was still like time ago. But that's annoying.
Can I say one of my favourite Strax quotes?
Of course.
The Times. Shall I send it up?
Oh yes, it's iconic. Yeah, it's very, very good. I'm quite partial to Madam Astra wanted to know if you would like any grenades. Did she say that? She may have said help.
Or, Strax, have you been eating my jelly sherbet fancies? No.
Also, another one from the Snowman is when like I think he's talking about Clara, and I think it's, who does she think I am? And he goes, Sherlock Holmes. And then the doctor's like, don't be clever, Strax. I'm the clever one. You're the potato one.
Yeah. And I also like, you're not funny, and you got short little legs.
Yes. Okay. Number 15. So we're currently all tied up at 13 each. No, 12 each. Sorry. 15. Ariana got 2,000 quid off the council just because the old man behind the desk said she looked Greek. I know she is Greek, but that's besides the point. It was still a valid claim.
Yeah, Jackie Tyler. That sounds very Jackie Tyler.
It is Jackie Tyler, yes. It is Jackie Tyler, yes.
Rose, right? Rose?
Yeah!
Oh, right.
So that's
you don't need many Eltons.
That's 2 more points to Connor then. It was Jackie Tyler and Rose.
Brilliant.
That is a very Jackie line.
That is a Jackie line.
It is. It is very, very, very Jackie. Okay, next one. I'm talking to a twig.
I'm talking to a twig. I'm talking. No,
that's I think this is still 2005.
Yeah. end of the world. Rose talking to I can't.
Jabe and what's her face?
Yeah.
His granddad. A clipping of my grandfather.
Yes, exactly. The from the Forest of Cheam, right?
I'm tempted to give you both the points for that because you both were pretty much straight on it.
Yeah, because I'm talking to a twig. Yeah, end of the world vibe. Yeah.
So 50. No. What are we on? 16 for Connor, 14 for George currently. Okay.
Yeah.
Next one.
Jackie Tyler. Yeah.
No, number 17. I am being extremely clever up here, and there's no one around to stand. Let me do that again. I'm being extremely clever up here, and there's no one to stand around looking impressed. What's the point in having you all?
I think I know this one. I'll see if you can pull it. Oh, madam.
I mean, I sort of got lost in translation, but I'm going to go with the Doctor.
Which Doctor?
Matt Smith.
Yes, it is the 11th Doctor.
Okay. Would you mind saying it for me one more time, Andy?
I am being extremely clever up here, and there's no one to stand around looking impressed. What's the point in having you all?
Yeah, having you all.
It's 2011.
I was going to say Series 6 because of the multiple companions.
Yes.
But now the episode.
When are they all together? Let me send it to you.
I think in the TARDIS. When are they all together? No, yeah, Badum-tish. He isn't wearing anything on his head in this episode, is he? Is he not?
Apart from his luscious hair.
No.
Not in that scene. He isn't. No.
Come on.
I don't know. I'm gonna go Day of the Moon. I don't know. Day of the Moon.
Go on, George.
Impossible Astronaut. It's like just
No,
yes, it is the Impossible Astronaut.
Oh, for God's sake!
It's just after they've seen the astronaut kill
the Doctor,
and they've realised it's like who would the Doctor trust the most, and then they meet up with OG timeline Doctor, and then they're all talking. They're all talking underneath the TARDIS, and the Doctor still can't hear them somehow, even though they're just under his feet.
Yeah, so he sort of like flips himself sort of over the railing of the TARDIS to so he's upside down talking to them, and he says that line.
That's annoyed me because it's the same story. I've just mentioned the wrong part, but whatever. Whatever, it's fine.
So a point each. So 17 for Connor, 14 for George. Okay, 15 for George. Sorry, not 14. Okay, 18. Let me distract this one. I have picked up a few womanly wiles over the years.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. I think I know the person. The episode.
Yeah, I feel like.
Yes, I know it.
You know it. I feel like the person we both know.
Do you want to guess the person then? I'll be kind.
Say the quote again for me.
Let me distract this one. I have picked up a few womanly wiles over the years.
See, now I've got two people.
Well, then say them both. Then I'll steal the points.
No, do it. Yeah, it's fine. I'll give you permission. I'm going to go for the really random, obscure one, Jackie Tyler.
It does sound like a Jackie line.
Yeah, but I can't think of the scenario, though.
It could be a Jackie line, but it's not.
Yeah, but then I'm going to go with the more, I guess, semi-obvious but apparent River.
No.
Go on, George.
Yeah.
I believe, because it's weird because Rose has a similar line in Empty Child Doctor Dances in Distracting a Guard, but I believe it's Donna in The Doctor's Daughter.
Oh, cool.
It is Donna in The Doctor's Daughter. It is exactly that.
Okay. Damn you, Catherine Tate. You weren't in my head.
So I believe it is all tied up at 17 each.
No, currently. I should be 1 point behind Connor.
6, yeah.
Are you 1 point behind?
I should be 17. It should be 18, 17, I believe.
Okay, all right, we'll say it's that then. That's fine. I should really be keeping track on the actual sheet, like my note where I've made the quiz, but I didn't think to do that because I'm an idiot. Okay, number 19. Oh, are you all Mr. Grumpy Face today?
Are you all Mr. Grumpy Face today? I mean, the Doctor looks fairly grumpy anyway, so I feel like I'm gonna say it's.
trying to spell it out for you.
Yeah, but no, I mean, yeah. Say it again.
Oh, are you all Mr. Grumpy Face today?
It's not.
Do you want me to help you out? I believe
no,
it's 2010.
that's not where I was going at all. But fine.
Is it 2010, Chief?
Yes, it's 2010.
Mr. Grumpy Face today. Mr. Grumpy Face. Yeah.
Who's that gorgeous woman that is still gorgeous and she's just had a child?
Yeah, Karen Gillan. There's Amy. It's
Yeah, it's
Amy.
Amy.
But then I'm guessing she's teasing the doctor. It's a 50-50 gamble who she's teasing.
The doctor, yes.
Yeah, it's 50-50 who she's teasing, but I'm guessing it's the doctor.
Yes.
She's saying it to the doctor.
For what episode? You're getting
God's sake. Mr. Grumpy Face today. So it's implied that they've obviously spent some time together. So I'm saying mid-season vibe.
You're so not far off either.
Mr. Grumpy Face today. When's he sodding grumpy? When is Matt
all
Smith?
The time, but none of the time.
Yeah, when's Matt Smith? Victory of the Daleks, World War II, the Blitz.
Oh no, I'm afraid.
No.
Go on, George. I know you know it.
Time of Angels. When they
Yes, yeah.
Oh, of course it is. Yeah. Oh, that feels really obvious. Yeah.
I can't remember if it's before or after he finds out there's a weeping angel involved, but it's when they're outside the sort of chasm that the ship's crashed in, and he's like scanning stuff, and she's like, "Oh, are you Mr. Grumpy Face today?
Like, are you Mr. Grumpy Face today?" You're all angry because is she going to be your wife one day? And then he says yes, but he's answering yes, I am Mr. Grumpy Face today.
Yeah.
Is that my wife?
Oh, that's clever, that one. Yeah.
Is this the last one?
Oh.
This is the last. The next one's the last one.
Okay.
Okay. Last one. So I believe Connor's still a point ahead.
Yeah. Somehow.
Winner takes all.
Somehow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you're welcome to come home and meet the wife. She'd be honoured. We can have cake.
I'm going to say the line after to see if this helps Connor. Why should I have cake? I've got my little straw.
Yes. Smith and Jones.
Yep.
And I can't think of the character name, but it's basically the monster.
No, he's saying it to the monster.
Oh well, the doctor then. With the
it's the Doctor and Smith and Jones. Yeah, it's when the slab's the slab has him like restrained so that she can like drink his blood.
Yeah,
and she's like, I must appear. Yeah, she's like, I must appear to be human. And he says, oh, well, you can come around and meet the wife. She'd be honoured. We can have cake. And then like George says, he goes, oh, well, why should I have cake? I brought my little straw. And he goes, oh, milkshakes. I like banana and.
Yeah, I remember the sort of exchange now. Yeah. Okay.
Well done.
Yeah. Fair play.
I think Smith and Jones is a very underrated series opener. I think Smith and Jones
Series 3 is an underrated series. It's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
There's a good level.
Every time I go back to it, it gets higher. It gets higher.
I think, you take out, apart from Shakespeare Code and
Lazarus Experiment, maybe.
Yeah, I think apart from that, it's a really strong season.
Because I think 42 is a decent episode. I think 42
isn't like a waste misfit episode. No, I don't mind 42 on its own.
It's really good in terms of the Doctor and Martha's relationship.
Yeah,
yes. I don't mind 42. Yeah,
and I just love that series. It's the series where I was fully into it and I was watching it every week.
Yeah,
as soon as it happened on BBC One, because I dabbled in just like watching it on. I'd had to at first. My mum would only let me watch it on the Sunday repeats on BBC Three, but then like midway through series 2, I started watching it as it went out, and then series 3, it was my first year of like I'm fully into this. But that was amazing, Andy. Thank you.
Oh, that was good.
Thank you. You can thank Francine Jones for her line about Quizmania that made me want to do this again.
You brought back Quizmania. We should do Quizmania with you as the host. But also thank you for coming into this episode, because it's always
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me. It's always a joy to the world to be invited.
Hey. Nice. Very nice.
No, it's always good for me around with you guys, and just hanging out and chatting. It's always a fun time. And we'll see if I can think of enough quotes to fuel a season 3. I might try and do for when I come back for the next season, I had this idea of maybe doing a slightly altered version of the quiz where I give you a quote and you have to tell me the next part.
Oh, fine, yeah, okay,
like
that
it.
could be a twist on it. But also, I'm guessing as I'm the only Big Finish listener, you could spice it up and do audio only Big Finish quotes as well. Once we're all advanced and we're all spent a load of our wages on Big Finish and
We love your
Well, to be
we
fair,
love your money.
My main exposure of Big Finish at the moment is there's a TikTok page that posts like out of context funny quotes from Big Finish, and some of them are wonderful.
They are very out of context is 100 million times better, but yeah, they are wild. Some of them.
It's beautiful. We can't wait to have you back
Anyway.
on season 2, Andy.
I know. I always love being on. It's great fun.
It's amazing. It's amazing that Kylie Minogue brought us together, and we are still friends to this day. And it's all
Bring joy to the world.
Kylie Minogue brought us together, and today we are brought here by Celine Dion.
There we go.
Oh, fair play.
It is a circle of life kind of thing, but there's no Elton John yet, so we'll have to.
All Mufasa.
Well, you don't meet many Eltons.
You don't meet many Eltons. It's right. It's hot in here, but it's about to get hotter.
Well, you could always splash out on a taxi or whatever. I'm
in my dressing gown. There's a strange man in my bedroom. Or anything could happen.
There is.
No. Is there anything you'd like to plug out?
Look, she's an alien and he's gay.
Yeah.
Anything I would like to plug? Right. Yeah. Things to plug. We Pay for Your Floor. We will be back once Sarah is up to full health and able to record. We had to kind of stop the last series in the middle of it just because Sarah was going through a lot of personal stuff. But she's on the mend, so hopefully at some point soon we'll be able to organise actually doing a recording session, because I miss doing We Pay for Your Floor. It is absolute madness, but it's very fun, and we will have you two on as soon as I know.
Yes.
Brilliant. I will let you both know. Just be prepared for absolute bollocks, because that's all we talk.
That's all
I mean, to give you an idea, to give you the listeners an idea of what We Pay for Your Floor is like, some of the episode titles include. Let me find the playlist. Like some of my personal favorite episode titles include "How do you threaten a monarch with another country?" There's people getting stabbed in the face, and we're arguing over snail criminals. A daytime bus stop story with an evening chiffon. That is a reference within a reference. Wood doesn't have a consciousness. Imagine getting a blowjob from a giraffe.
Oh, whoa.
My personal favourite possibly now is, so to clarify, she doesn't breastfeed her dog. There's so many. What else have we got?
Out of context titles. Yeah.
If anyone is around this table was most qualified to be a large body of water. I can't remember the context for that quote, because all of them are things that are said in the episodes, but I can't remember where all of them come from exactly.
Well, that's even better. That's even better.
Imagine going to school knowing your school shagged a squid. I remember that one. That was in reference. We had one of my best friends on, and we were talking about fan fiction. She said she once read a fan fiction where the fan fiction was Hogwarts, the school, shipped with the great squid in the lake.
Okay.
And I was like, imagine going to school knowing your school shagged a squid. Sausages can't swim. Have you ever been horny in a French cottage? How great would Moses be as a lifeguard? These are all just some titles that you can find on the We Pay for Your Floor podcast.
Wow. Just
and then the other thing that I would like to plug, since I have officially started doing it again, in fact, I'm going to be streaming right after we finish recording this, is my Twitch. Twitch.tv/Kemp Plays. I am mostly playing Marvel Rivals at the minute, but I will probably end up doing a Baldur's Gate playthrough at some point, because I fucking love that game, even though I've never actually finished it. And yeah, it's been fun getting back into it. I've missed doing it. I just kind of needed the motivation and also Phil to help with the tech stuff because I forgot how to do it all.
Oh, fair play, fair enough. Out of curiosity, Baldur's Gate, which one? Like 1? Is it 3?
Oh, three. Yeah, the
most
recent one.
Yeah.
It's so good. Have either of you guys played it? Because it is amazing.
I haven't. No.
I have not as well. I've not.
Are either of you fans of D&D?
Yeah,
Not majorly, but I've never really sunk any time into it. So
I mean, since Stranger Things, it's been part of my culture, but also the movie. I liked the movie as well.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
I spent years thinking that I'd never get into D&D, and it just took the right group. And once I got playing with the right group, it is now a big obsession. It's great fun.
Oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
But yeah,
I think that's everything I've got
go and
to
check
talk
out
about.
Andy if you've not done so already. Please listen to his amazing podcast and watch him on stream. Any friend of ours should be a friend of yours. So, and them's the rules. Otherwise, we will shoot you into a time mode. We'll shoot you into the sky and make you be a star above Bethlehem. But Connor, where can they find us as we wrap up?
So you found YouTube. Congratulations. We're no longer on X, but you can find us at Blue Sky?
Yes.
Just
Blue
simply
Sky,
Blue
yeah.
Sky. I wanted to say Blue Sky Studios, but that's Telltale Games plug and Ice Age thing. Yes. Yeah. Ignore that last one, but Blue Sky. We're on there. No longer X.
X
Instagram,
can suck
TikTok.
a dick.
Yeah, exactly right. Mr. Musk. Yeah. Instagram. No, I just said the wrong thing. Yeah, Twitch and TikTok. I was gonna go Twitch Talk.
Twitch.
Twitch.
I
Yeah.
don't think I'm following you guys on TikTok. I should change that. I don't think I realised you had a TikTok.
Oh, well, we can collaborate, darling. But until then, everyone, we will see you for more Doctor Who stuff whenever season 2 is announced that it's happening.
On the air, yeah.
And Andy will be back, maybe on his own, maybe with a friend. We don't know.
Whoop,
We don't
Maybe
know-
on a
we don't know the
floor.
schedule
But
ourselves.
has he paid for the floor?
We should try and drag Phil in if we can,
Yeah, why not?
because he'd be watching,
There we go. Let's
and I'm
do it.
sure he'd have a few nuggets of wisdom to share.
Good
Whether
on.
they're related to the episode or not, I can't guarantee that. But there will be things said nonetheless.
Stuff will be said, and some of it will be broadcastable. But
Woo!
we will see you guys next time. Andy, thank you so much. Ladies and
Thank you
gentlemen,
for having me again.
week.
Bye.
Exterminate.